I love that momentum, that
man.
flow running through these levels in one clean sequence.
Yeah. Brother. Do I have the franchise for you?
I just want to run and jump my way through an obstacle course.
He's boring. Play Sonic. Play Sonic. Why are you here?
The Tanuki power-ups feel way more like cheating than save states ever did.
Coping. Oh no.
The issue of easiness through power-ups of Mario 3 is so much worse in this game.
He made the calamitous sin of hating the cape feather. Oh boy.
I'm sure I had plenty of controversial opinions here, especially about the last.
It's not your controversial opinions that annoyed me. Maybe some people in the chat. It's not your controversial opinions that annoyed me. It's, again, your format is just dog shit. This or Demetrius Easy Mode video, 100% Demetrius Easy Mode video. 100%. Gamers! A review of every 2D Mario after playing them all for the first time. Apparently this guy's a Sonic guy, from what I saw. Hang on, let's see. I thought Putty Tat. I think he's a Sonic. I'm done with Sonic? What Gamers, I'm done with Sonic the Hedgehog. He called me the N-word on Twitter, and I've not forgiven him since. Wild. I think he just made a bunch of Sonic videos and got tired. Yeah, that's just the content creator thing. So he wanted to make other things. Revised? Hang on. Hold on. Hang on. Gamers, deep lore. Hang on. But hold everything. Scroll up. Let's scroll. Where is it? Keep going. And zoom and enhance. The pause. Freeze frame. Cast form recommended this. I really wanted to watch this today, but then you click it, and it's private, and I'm like, was it that bad? Did I miss cinema? And he revised it. I don't want the revised version. Give me the old one. Hey yo, unlist the old one. I want to see it. I want to see how bad it was. And okay, if you unlist the old one, I'll watch the new one and say, okay, I like that. I'll give you like. I'll be nice. Okay, I'll be nice. I'll watch the old one. I'll laugh at you. Then I'll watch the new one. And I'll be like, I like the way you changed this. Good job. Keep it up. I'm proud of you. Can I do both? Can we do both? Mr. Pariah, I asked that of you. Oh my, we might get to this later. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, Pariah 695. Can you give us an intro?
Never played any.
From the top, brother. From the top.
Yeah, I know, it sounds insane. I've never played any of the 2D Mario games before.
Crazy.
It seems like, how could that even be possible with me being a gamer for so long? I love Nintendo games.
Gamer, maybe?
3D Mario
fake
games.
gamer, maybe?
But 2D Mario has just never really done it for me. I've obviously tried 2D Mario games here and there, but I could never really get into them. I just never really found them that fun. And I've never finished one. I've only played them a little bit here and there, but
Now, here's what I need. I hope he answers this in the intro. Is it because like he was too much of a Sonic Andy and the momentum gameplay of Sonic was like way more interesting? Or is it that like you're someone who's into harder platformers as a whole, and Mario obviously doesn't scratch their edge? I wonder which of the two it is. I hope he explains, because it's got to be one of those. Those are the only two reasons, as far as I'm concerned, to be into platformers but not Mario. Or to have never played a Mario game, should I say. Those are the only two valid reasons. Anything else, you're wrong and cringe.
I've probably never even gotten to like the third world of any 2D Mario game. But
Wild? Third world is usually when it starts to get a little, crazy. Okay.
But with Mario Wonder coming, that game really caught my attention and looked very interesting, so I was like, okay, let me give 2D Mario one more try and see if I can actually get into these games.
I hope your conclusion is that you got into it. What I would say is that you playing every single one of them back to back, bit of a flawed way to start the series. I mean, interesting way to make a video, maybe, but a bit of a flawed way to start the series, because I don't think that, what was it? Like, by the time you start playing like one, like they all kind of like, I think you run the risk of them all like kind of barreling into each other, you know? I think it's the same reason why I'm going to do a 2D ranking at some point, but fatigue, that's the word I was looking for, thank you. But it's the reason why like I'm playing all the New Soup games like really far apart from each other. Like we did New Luigi on stream, then after, was it like a couple months, we did the New Soup Wii, and then a couple months out I'm playing New Soup 2, and then eventually I'm going to get to DS and U, right? So I would say it definitely hurts the experience of the new Soup games, so I'll be interested to see what you have to say about that, but let's keep watching.
Games, and for whatever reason, finally it clicked for me, and I was able to play the 2D Mario games and enjoy them. And so, with the lead up to Mario Wonder, I decided to play every single 2D Mario game back to back for the very first time, and it was a very, very interesting experience.
Interesting indeed. Oh,
Let me tell you.
interesting indeed. But as I said, he thought his general opinion on one, because I did watch this ahead of time to make sure there was sufficient chicanery. There might be. We might find out. His opinion was it's a good game, and he likes it. That was basically the long and short of it. He didn't really mention anything I find too disagreeable or agreeable. He liked it, and I was like, oh, okay. He liked Bowser as a boss as well. He thought it was cool. So let's get to Lost Levels. So let's just jump on ahead a tiny bit, and let's see what he thinks about Lost Levels. Generally, as we all know, Lost Levels is the one where everyone goes bad, bottom tier, calls it a day. But what does he think?
And now that we're done with Mario 1, of course, we move on to Mario 2, but not the Mario 2 that Westerners would be familiar with. I'm talking about the real Mario 2, aka the Lost Levels. And this is a very weird and interesting game to me, I have to say, because I mean, it's basically just a level pack for Mario 1. I mean, look at it. It's the exact same game. There are very few changes and additions here. There's a couple of new hazard types, but that's basically it. It's just a new set of levels for the same game, essentially. And so in a way, I don't even really think of Lost Levels as a sequel or another game to Mario 1. To me, playing through it, it really just felt like the second half of the game. Just the...
It's really weird hearing someone say this. Like, I suppose that's what makes this video interesting, is playing these for the first time. But, like, hearing someone completely divorce Lost Levels of any context is really funny. Like, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because normally when people talk about SMB2, or Lost Levels, it's, you know, bad and shit and poopy, and I hate the game because I can't play video games, and I'm bad, and I beat the game while taking a voice call because I'm a gamer, and you're not. So, it's interesting. It's very interesting, isn't it?
The more difficult levels, once you beat the game, you unlock 8 bonus worlds that are much harder than the main worlds, you know, basically that kind of thing. Honestly, the biggest new thing that they add in Lost Levels is the ability to play as Luigi. In Mario 1, he was just player 2, and he played just like Mario. But now you can pick Luigi in a single-player game if you want, and he has his iconic slippery movement and higher jump, which surprised me, actually. I didn't know that started here. I thought that started in the American Mario 2, but...
I'm glad you learned that. What I would say, though, real quick, I haven't acknowledged this, but the fact that you're playing the All-Stars version, fair? I think any version you play is a bit valid, but... -2 aura. Play the original instead.
That was cool to find out.
Only a -2
yeah,
aura
Lost
penalty.
Levels
It's not
is
much.
just more Mario 1, which means that I like it. But of course, we have to talk about the difficulty of Lost Levels, because this game is infamous for being super duper ultra hard. And I was a bit skeptical about that, because a lot of times when people, you know, a game has this reputation of, oh, that game is super hard, oftentimes when I come to the game, I'm like,
the internet loves to
really
exaggerate.
Not as hard as people made it out to be, but I was pleasantly surprised. No, Lost Levels is a hard game, a very hard game, as a matter of fact. And I'm someone that really enjoys difficult games, so I found the difficulty of Lost Levels to be really exciting. I thought it was really fun. It's all the great stuff you get from Mario 1, but now we're cranking up that challenge, and we're cranking up the necessary skill to beat these levels to a good amount, and coming right from one game to the other, it felt like I had prepared for this, and now coming into it, it was like, alright, here's the real game now. Here's the real challenge. And because of that, I loved Lost Levels, even...
Welcome home, Pariah695. Welcome home, brother. Another Lost Levels fan. Oh, man, you love to see it. Today is a good day. This Sir Musty Wednesday is an amazing Sir Musty Wednesday. I've got a fan in him. That's all I care about. That's all I care.
More than the original Mario, I thought this game was a ton of fun. Though, that being said, I do need to point out here that I have been playing these games with save states, not you.
I don't know, bro. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, at least when I streamed it, I at least tried to play it the normal way, then save stated, you know? I'm save states are valid. But I'm just saying, did you at least try to beat, like, because there's something really thrilling. I'm just saying, I feel like there's an element, don't get me wrong, I know what he's going to say next. Lives are outdated, I suck at the game, blah, 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 blah. But what I would say is that having literally replayed it recently, I would say there's an extra element that is lost by playing save states from knowing that you have to stockpile 3 lives across 4 levels, and it makes every coin you pick up all the more valuable. That's something I noticed when I was playing Lost Levels on stream. Any single time I had an instance to pick up a life, whether it be cooking Coopers or like picking up a coin, going to a coin heaven, I took the opportunity every single time. So what I would say is that save states are fine. You're fine. You're so real for that. Did you at least try? That's what I want to know. Did you at least try? For me, for moi, did you at least try?
Using them to help me get through levels, I would put a save state at the beginning of a level, so that way if I died, I could just immediately restart. And part of the reason for that is just to improve the pacing, so I don't have to sit through, you know, death animations and loading screens and stuff.
Said like a true Sonic fan.
But also, part of it is because I don't want to deal with limited lives. You can say that's making the game easier, but I think it's just making the game better. I personally feel that limited lives are just a straight-up bad mechanic for most games, and I think they just make games worse.
Again, you're not wrong. I don't think he's wrong with this take. In a general sense. And someone in the chat's going to be like, oh, I'm doing people online. People online are going to say, there's one game. That's true. You're true. I don't know why I did a straw man voice. You're actually true for that. There's probably some games that really work well with lives. What I would say is, did you at least try? Did you really? Because I'm telling you, there's something really thrilling about having to maintain like 3 lives across 4 levels. And there was something about that I really enjoyed. Literally, I'm not even kidding, Chad. The only reason I use save states in my stream was just to speed up the pacing. Because I'm in a live stream and I didn't want you guys like fucking waiting on me. Do you know what I mean? I didn't want you lot waiting on me. So I use save states in the end. If I was playing on my own, I would not have used save states. All right, because I like the thrill. I'm a gambling man. I love the fucking thrill. Okay, I'm a thrill seeker, but I'm too scared to do bungee jumping. So instead, I play Lost Levels with only 3 lives. That's what I do. Save states in the All Stars version are a bit odd since it saves level by level. Does it? Oh, that's even weirder then, isn't it? That's a bit weird. Did you make it do 2 warps? That makes it even more thrilling. Okay, I love the thrill.
And actually, Lost Levels is probably a perfect example of that. Because playing Lost Levels with infinite lives, it turns into a really challenging but really fun 2D platformer. Playing this game with limited lives, though, I would never be able to beat this game in my lifetime because the game is so hard. I died over and over and over on so many of the later levels in this game, probably like over 40 times or something like that. And if I imagine myself having to play through the entire game in order to get back up to where I was, to only have, you know, 6 tries at it, and then I'd have to play the entire game again to get back there again.
It's the entire game? No, it's the entire... Oh. So I think that pretty much confirms he never at least tried it. So I'm like... That's a bit of a shame. I would say there's an extra... What I would recommend is if anyone is going to play Lost Levels, I would say give it a try. I would say give it... At least try. I feel like you could do the first 2 worlds without any save states. I feel like you could. And then by the time, like, try it enough, and then if it does get a bit much, yeah, you save states. I think that's fine. Because like I said, I think there's an extra dimension that's lost by not doing so. If you're asking me personally, but either way.
And, you know, all of that, it would be like dozens of times I would have to play through the entire game in order to beat it. It would have taken forever. It would have been super tedious and super unfun. There was no way I was going to do that, and I feel...
It's the entire world. It's not a little bit... Listen, I know you like to ramble, and I know it's off script, but brother, do some research. Mario Wiki's the best wiki on planet Earth. You get no excuse. Maybe the Sonic Wiki sucks. You get no excuses with the Mario Wiki, okay? The best wiki on planet Earth.
Well, that this is primarily what is responsible for this game's horrible reputation of being this super difficult, impossible game. It's the lives. The lives preventing people from just playing through the levels.
It hurts that he's just rambling through this way too much. Because it's like he's spending 5 minutes cooking on a point when he's not even like in a kitchen. Does that make sense? It's like he's cooking on a fucking... Like he's trying to cook out in the fucking rain. And I'm just like, what are we doing?
Having a good time. You know, you can say I cheated or whatever, but if I wasn't using save states to get through these games, then I never would have beaten Lost Levels. I would have said,
all right, we get it. You're a fake gamer.
It's way too hard. I'm never going to beat this game, and that would have been my review. Whereas now, because I use save states, I got through the entire game and I had a ton of fun, and it's one of my favorite 2D Marios, so...
What you saying that completely discounts the value of somebody saying they didn't finish a game in a review. Now, could you say that makes for a bad review? Maybe. But I would entirely disagree. I would say if somebody reviews something that they weren't able to finish, that should be that should be something that's taken into consideration when someone plays the game. Like, for example, like if somebody reviewed like a Dark Souls game and then they couldn't beat it, I still think their review has some merit and some value. In the same way that yours would if you simply played it normally. Does that make sense? Like you using the fact that you save states to justify your ability to finish the game is, I think, a bit weak. Because it ignores the fact that your review would still be valid of this game if you couldn't finish it by playing a normal means. Which I think you're setting yourself short there. I think you are.
Oh, who's really getting robbed here? You could say I robbed myself of the challenge of playing the game legitimately, but...
Oh, for fuck's sake! Listen, I'm the overthinking yapper, right? But at the very least, I do it in live stream format where you can just... And the VODs, you can just double tap your phone. You know, oh, what are we doing
I would
here?
more so say
Oh,
that
brother.
everybody who has played this game with lives was robbed of an enjoyable experience.
Why would you say that? No, hang on. I want to hear the whole point again before I crash out. Give me a second, chat. Give me a second. The crash out might be happening. Hang on.
Challenge of playing the game legitimately
Hang on.
here. You could say I robbed myself of the challenge of playing the game legitimately, but I would more so say that everybody who has played this game with lives was robbed of an enjoyable experience.
Who's to say? You're talking literally to the guy who would genuinely, unironically recommend you try to play this game without save states first, then play with save states. Because I actually believe there is a dimension that is lost without the resource management of lives and coins. What are you talking? How are you going to use save states and then make a sweeping statement about everyone who decides not to? Are you silly? Is this guy stupid? I'm being earnest when I say that. How are you going to play with states and then make a sweeping statement about everyone that didn't? Are you... Brother, start scripting, okay? You need to start script. Patron? Where's the patron? They always have a patron. Ladies and gentlemen, there's the patron. It's always there. It's always there. Put the script in the bag, little bro. Put the script in the bag. It's unbelievable. What a statement. What an awful statement to make. That's unbelievable. If someone doesn't want to use them, like... If somebody decided to play Castlevania 3 no save states, I would say you're probably better off. But if they didn't want it, I'd be like, well, you're just a fucking... I will say you've robbed yourself of the enjoyment. What if they enjoyed it? Why do you get to decide? If anything, a lot of the charm of a lot of these old 80s video games is that they're ball-bustingly hard. It's the reason I love fucking Mega Man. When I play Mega Man, I don't use save states. Yeah, if I get a game over, I have to play the level again to get to the boss. But that, again, there's a level of resource management that comes from that. I have to make sure I get to this boss while retaining 3 lives, and if I do, I get 3 chances of the boss. Most likely 2, since I'll be like damaged and like and then I can use like the first life as like, you know, scouting out the boss. Then the other 2 are, okay, let's fucking go. You know, come on, let's fucking go. So what are we doing here, brother? Like, see, even I when I'm making an actual video, I write notes. You gotta start. Put the notes in the bag, little gut. Put the notes in the bag. Awful statement. Let's go. Let's continue.
And that kind of thing is precisely why I think limited lives.
We found it. I remember this. You cheated yourself. Oh my lord! One idiot. One absolute idiot. Oh my. Okay. My mistake. I actually take that back. It was a chicaneous statement. I don't want to exaggerate my anger, but that was an extremely questionable statement. I will tell you that, Pariah.
Lives are such a bad mechanic in most games. Though I do have to limited live enjoyable experience. And that kind of thing is precisely why I think limited lives are such a bad mechanic in most games.
Most.
Though I do have to say, this game is very hard, and I do like that about it, but I do actually think that in a couple of specific instances, it does push the difficulty.
Like if anything, what I would tell you, like, because obviously, guys, remember he said he used save state so he can rewind the level. Look at the footage. Just look at the footage for a second.
Couple of specific instances, it does push the difficulty a bit too much. It does it in a way that, again, I was
like, if anything, one thing that I would argue that how are you finding enjoyment in just constantly reloading a state instead of doing what Mario wants you to do, which is you have the death animation, you have the loading screen, which gives you time to go, okay, what did I do wrong? Let me figure this out. Yeah, in a lot of harder games, you generally want the loading screen to be smaller so you can get right back in there, but it serves a purpose. So what are we... So like when you show me this footage, you're just running, hoping that you can figure out what to do. That's what it looks like to me, you know? So I'm just like, how are you enjoying this? But I wouldn't make that statement because I'm not a silly goose like you.
Be a bit too much. It does it in a way that, again, I was kind of pleasantly surprised to see that it's really pushing the mechanics.
And again, he like robs it. Like you shouldn't be big right now. You should have died and be small Luigi now. So I'm just like, again, it takes an element from you. Oh,
to their maximum, even more than the original game.
You should have died there. I'm just saying.
But I was struggling with some of these things, and I can just imagine your more average player, especially remembering that this is supposed to be a kid's game. And this would be really difficult for a lot of players, almost impossible. Like, I remember one level starts where just, like, immediately a downward staircase.
Brother, you're not playing Sonic. You can stop for a moment, think about what you're doing, and play the fucking game.
Into a pit of lava, and you have to cross this gap.
Is he actually playing?
Making this jump is no easy task. You need to really understand the movement mechanics and how they work to do it correctly.
Something that you evidently don't know how to do, because most of us, if I can get a freeze... Oh, fuck, I'm going way too far back. Let me... Can I just get a still? Hang on.
But I was struggling.
Yeah, most of us would jump down here so we can get a running start and then jump across. It's what I did when I played the game. Something that's made a bit harder with Big Luigi. You're making a mountain out of a molehill, brother.
With some of these things, and I can just imagine your more average player, especially remembering that this is supposed to be a kid's game, and this would be really difficult for a lot of players, almost impossible.
I think that's... Like, don't get me... Like, I understand you like Sonic, but I feel like you're playing this like a Sonic game. I'm just putting two and two together now. I feel like I just want to go fast. I feel like he's playing this like a Sonic game. What was the point of playing Mario if you're going to play like Sonic? At least it looks like it. Maybe we'll see as the video progresses, but it looks like it to me.
I remember one level starts where just like immediately a downward staircase into a pit of lava, and you have to cross this gap. And making this jump is no easy task. You need to really understand the movement mechanics and how they work to do it correctly. Because there's like very specific attributes with like trying to jump backwards in this game where it has slightly different properties than jumping forwards and everything. It's very complex, and landing this jump...
Does he not use the lower platform once?
Many times, even after I had successfully gotten it. You know, I'd die later in the level, I'd come back here, and I'd mess it up again and again and again, and then I would get it, and I could go back to doing the rest of the level. And I also encountered this...
If anything, you know what makes this even sadder, chat? Hang on.
And again, and then I would get it, and I could go back...
Do you know what makes this even sadder, chat? You're a Sonic fan. You should know something about taking lower paths. Is this his Sonic programming, like, stopping him? He's like, upper path, good. Lower path, but it's literally his Sonic programming has taken over. I must stay on the upper path. Must stay on the upper path. That's what this is. We figured it out.
Rest of the level.
Must stay upper.
I also encountered this one jump here. The one instance where I did actually use save states to kind of cheese this a little bit, because I was having a ton of trouble with this one jump here. It may have been because I was playing as Luigi and he has a higher jump.
No, it's because in typical... Hang on.
But this little...
No, it's because in typical Lost Levels fashion, right where my mouse is, the top path is the correct path. He's right. Where my mouse is right here is a hidden block. And it took me a couple tries because, again, how you're supposed to play this when you're not using save states like a dipshit is you're supposed to take the top path, realize and then go on the bottom and then like, oh shit, I'm looping. Then you go top middle, oh shit, I'm looping. Then you stop to think, where does the game want me to go? You realize, literally, this is my thought process when I played it on the stream. Where does the game want me to go? The game wants me to probably take the hardest path, which is the top. How do I get there? I can't jump. There must be a hidden block. And then that's when I started searching for a hidden block. I found it. Something that's completely lost on you because you're just playing like this is Sonic. Oh, brother. We're bringing it back? What are we bringing back? Oh, man. Listen. We'll save it. We'll save it for a different moment, okay?
Little gap here where you hit the ceiling. Like, this is me using save states, just trying this jump over and over and over and over. And you can see how many times I'm messing it up in a row. Imagine every single one of these jumps was me having to loop through. This is one of those repeating sections. And eventually you run out of time and you die and you have to start over. And then you die enough times, you game over. You have to play the whole game again.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Isn't it, listen, you're not, listen, Camp, you're not wrong. I just want to make it very clear. You're not wrong, but it's lost levels. So this level of chicanery is it's lost levels, and I think by 3-4, hang on, this is what also kills him, chat. This is my silver bullet. There is a part where the game teaches you, literally teaches you. I know the game does not love to teach you, but the game, there is a part in 2-2, you know the infamous gap? You know that infamous gap where there's like a giant gap and you can't make it? And then you have to figure out there's 2 invisible blocks that you jump on to get to the pipe to jump across. That is your moment, if you're playing Warpless, where the game teaches you, hey, there's going to be invisible blocks here. So I think it stands to reason that somebody playing this game a lot slower, like a normal player would also maybe intuit that there was a hidden block, just like I did. I wish I could replay my part from the stream, because I was literally looping, and then I'm like, the game wants me to take the top path because that's the most out-of-the-way path, so there must be a hidden block here. That's literally what I thought. So, and then he's under this false assumption he has to play the whole game from scratch. You're a nerd. You're a nerd, pariah.
This right here would kill many, many runs for me trying to get through this level. Like, this jump is ridiculously hard. Maybe that's just a Luigi thing. I don't know, maybe it's an All-Stars thing. Maybe this works better in the NES games. Someone let me know if there's something weird going on here.
I don't know, I just think you're bad at video games.
Also, while most of the time I find this game to be pretty fair with how it's designed, I was stunned when I...
Not a word, personally, not a word I would use to describe Lost Levels, even as Lost Levels is biggest defender. I personally wouldn't. But okay.
This game to be pretty fair with how it's designed.
I would say the game was very unfair.
I was stunned when I encountered that bullshit for the first time. I had no idea that Kaizo Mario bullshit got its start in actual official Mario. What the hell is that? Like putting fucking trap invisible blocks that are specifically there to fuck you up.
Welcome to Lost Levels, brother. I hope you enjoy your stay.
What the hell, man? That's just fucking mean. It's kind of funny, I'll be honest, when I first encountered that.
It is very funny. At least he admits it was funny.
Really? Are you kidding me? But that's not exactly great level design, so...
It's not... Again, he's completely removed the context, which is fair, I suppose. But yeah, it's a bit weird that it took him 8-2... So a lot of people are saying that it took him till 8-2 to realize that there's invisible trap blocks. Lucky you, I suppose. How lucky for you.
Yeah. Still, though, overall, despite those minor hiccups, I had a ton of fun with Lost Levels. I thought this game was super duper cool. Loved how challenging it was. I just had a fantastic time playing both of these 2 Mario games, but this one in particular. And as I said before, I kind of view these 2 games as really one game, so for simplicity's sake, in the future, when I refer to Mario 1, I'm really going to be talking about both of these games together as...
I would thoroughly recommend you don't do that. Like, truly, I think for your sake, like, I think these are 2 distinct games. A distinct enough way, I don't think you can put them together. I wouldn't do this if I were you, just saying.
Package. Because when I'm drawing comparisons to Mario 1, pretty much anything that I say regarding that game would also apply to Lost Levels.
And I can think of a lot of cases where it wouldn't. Mario 1 doesn't have invisible trap blocks. Mario 1 doesn't have looping overworld levels like Lost Levels does. Mario 1 doesn't have those green springs that just launch up into the sky, making it so you can't see where you land. The difficulty is also a lot more fair to you, the player, than it is in Lost Levels. Lost Levels is insistent on making sure that you cannot get power-ups by putting them in precarious places, but puts poison mushrooms in not precarious places. There is a lot of design differences, even if you look at the surface level. So... is this more? Do I have to think about it in terms of Sonic? You know what, Benjamin, you're right. Actually, Benjamin, you're so right. I have to think. How does this link back to Sonic? Because he said he was done with Sonic, but you never really leave Sonic, do you? So yeah, he's thinking this like a 3 and K. But
anyway, now we move on to the.
All right, so let's say personally, I haven't played Mario 2, and I'm gonna be honest, Pariah, I don't really care to hear your thoughts. So let's move on to what you think about Mario 3.
Move on. And move on we are to Mario 3. Now this is what I'm talking about. Back to a proper, true 2D Mario game. And I was aware that this game is generally, I believe, the favorite 2D Mario. And I can totally understand why, because a lot of this game is really just Mario 1 again, but bigger and better. More mechanics, more features, more elements. And yeah, it's really, really fun. It's got all the same things that made Mario 1 so good, but it's just got even more stuff to make it even better. We still got that momentum. You still get that satisfying feel of flowing through these levels in one clean sequence without ever having to stop. That's so good. And it's even...
Chat, did you hear that? Listen again. If you're playing Fortnite in the background, listen again.
Flowing through these levels in one clean sequence without ever having to stop. That's...
Firstly, extremely Sonic pilled. Secondly, did you guys notice? I'll replay it. Did you guys notice something in particular? Did you guys notice something? I'll play the clip.
A proper, true 2D Mario game. And I was aware that this game is generally, I believe, the favorite...
Did you guys see it? I could point it out to you because I think it was quite subtle, but I'll play it one more time.
Mario game. And I was aware that this game is generally,
Right there. Did you see it? I'll point it out to you one more time.
A true 2D Mario game. And I was aware that this game is...
One thing I really like about Mario... thank you. Aren noticed it. He missed the block with the leaf. One of the things I absolutely love about Mario's game design is its ability to tell you how to do things without you as the player being told. And this is probably one of the best tutorials like ever made into how to kick a block into a thing to get power-ups. And if anything, this is probably where you... Since you're if you're playing Mario before, you're intuitively holding B, which also teaches you that you can pick up blocks now, you know? So this is like one of the better tutorials in the game, but because he's playing it like a Sonic game, he's just going to keep running. Which I thought was very strange. I've not seen a single person play Mario 3 and miss this sequence. So this is completely new to me. That was very... It gave me whiplash, I'm not gonna lie, chat. I don't know if you noticed, but that whole sequence, I was just squinting, because I'm like, did he really just miss this? And then he misses, like, one of the coolest sequences as well, which is...
generally, I believe, the favorite 2D...
You get to knock out... Again, another tutorial. You use the Tanuki leaf to kill these enemies, and then... When you're running in a straight line, you'll notice that this bar's going up. You'll hear the sound, and you're like, "Oh, sure!" And you can fly. It's like one of the coolest, like, little bits of. And he just ran right over it. Very strange, bro. I'm just saying, very strange.
Mario, and I can totally understand why, because a lot of this game is really just Mario
and then
1
and then he runs back for some reason. I don't know why. And then watch this.
More stuff to make it even better. We still got that momentum. You still...
No, I think... No, say it. Watch this.
Still get that satisfying feel of flow.
Again, now that you've learned how to pick up Koopa shells, ideally, you can use this to, like, knock out this section and get some more extra... And he just misses it entirely.
Going through these levels
in one
clean sequence.
Because he wants to flow through levels in one keep sequence. And it's like, if that's how you enjoy Mario, I suppose, but that's not what Mario... This feels like square peg, round hole. Does that make sense? This feels like if I was to play a Sonic game, but take it like kind of slow and methodical. And it's like, are there points where you can be slow and methodical? Sure. But, man, to be fair, as a newbie at this, he is a newbie, but it's like, are you playing Mario like Sonic, or are you trying to play Mario like Mario? That's where I'm kind of getting a bit lost, you know? It's fair for you to play this game with the context of all the Sonic you have, obviously, but this obviously isn't Sonic. So instead, ideally, you'd want to look into what makes it different, you know? Like, when I played Celeste, I'm not playing it like it's a Mario game. I'm like, oh, this game's tougher. It has a dash system. I'm like, okay, I'm going to meet the game for what it is now. You know, Shovel Knight, the Shovel Knight has like a down thrust motion with his shovels, where you can like bounce off enemies. I'm like, oh, okay, that's new context I'm learning. But with this, like the learning moments that you had in this game, I'm just like, you're not even trying to, you know, like, it's a shame. It really is a shame that they just completely went over your head, you know? It's a bit of a shame. It's like it can't change gears from Sonic to Mario. Yeah, but it seems like it, doesn't it? It seems like it's very odd. I feel like I could change gears between like Mario and Sonic quite easily, but then again, I've been playing both of them for a really young age, so I suppose it's easier for me, huh?
Not ever having to stop. That's so good, and it's even better here thanks to, you know, things like slopes and various different other additions and mechanics to the game and the formula. This is just so good, and now we have the overworld and the ability to pick different levels and stuff, and that's all cool.
Again, just look again, chat. It's like, oh man, just look at this again. Look at it
so
again.
Good, and now we have...
Are you telling me you either didn't, as small Mario, jump on these and then go in this pipe, or you didn't try and swing this block? None of this. You're just running right through all it. I'm like, no.
The overworld and the ability to pick different levels and
You're
stuff.
You're going to be a pariah in the whole town.
Adds some extra flair to the game, makes it feel more enjoyable. But I gotta say, this whole overworld thing, and also the ability to skip worlds with warp pipes and stuff, I've always found this to be a little bit weird in Mario games, because it's like, oh, some of the levels are optional. You don't have to play every single level. It's like, yeah, well, I don't have to play the game either. I'm playing...
I feel like this one annoys me a bit more than the other one because surely as someone who's played I feel like you've played old video games, right, Pariah? So surely you remember the time where you literally could not save a video game. And that's what the warp zones were for. Like, I used this as a kid. Like, when I remember playing Mario 1 when I was a kid, I tried to play it warpless, right? But then, like, I was always annoyed that I'd have to keep... Because I remember I'd get stuck on World 4. And then my older brother told me, oh, I can warp straight there. And I was like, that's amazing. I can now play the game from that point. I know there's a button combination you can use to restart the worlds, but I didn't know that as a kid. So it's like... I don't think... Like, as far as I'm concerned, help me out, chat, actually. I don't think Mario 3 saved because it was on the NES, right? I don't think they had a save system. I think they introduced that in World, right? So, yeah, the warp zones were just that. They were literally just... And they were cool Easter eggs for exploring, right? And it's like, you get the opportunity of... Why is choice a bad thing? Like, maybe he explains. Maybe he explains. Maybe he explains. But my question to you now, Pariah, is why is giving people the option to play the game how they want a bad thing? Because, yeah, generally when I play a Mario game, I tend to play it warpless. But maybe sometimes I don't want to. Like, I don't think you consider yourself a gamer if you haven't tried to at least beat the original Super Mario Bros. In 5 minutes. Using, 1-1, 1-2, 4-1, 4-2, and then all of World 8. I think everyone's tried that at least once, right? Doing speedrunning. I've tried it. I've beaten it. I think my time was like 6 minutes. I think I beat the game. I could beat it in 6 minutes, chat. I'm a gamer.
Playing the game because I want to play the game because it's fun. Why would I want to skip levels? The levels are the game. It's what makes playing it fun. Not really a criticism of these games or anything.
Fair.
Just something I've always found to be a little bit weird. But yeah, Mario 3 overall, don't have that much to really say about how good this game is, other than, yeah, I totally see why everyone says this is their favorite Mario. It's just kind of bigger and better than the first one. However, when it comes to criticizing the game, I have quite a bit to say, actually, because I do not like this game as much as Mario 1. I do not think...
Probably the first person in existence to say that. Let him cook, chat. Let him cook.
It's as good for a number of reasons. Let's start with the smallest problem and work our way up to the biggest problem.
I'm going to give you a heads up, Pariah. I have no belief that you're going to convince me. Okay, I wouldn't say no, but I have very little. This video so far, you've done a lackluster job. But my mind is still open, though. My mind is still open.
The smallest problem for me is that they have added boss fights now to Mario, which... is understandable that you would want to do that, but Jesus Christ, if you're gonna add boss fights, can they please be not fucking atrocious?
I don't think he's that wrong for this, right, guys? We don't like Boom Boom. Boom Boom kind of sucks.
These bosses are so bad. First, you have the Boom Boom fights.
I don't think the Koopalings were that hard, I don't think they were that hard. Also, Arend, calm down. Only I can calm down, Arend. Calm, okay, calm. Stay calm, chat. Stay calm.
Is a complete joke.
Let's not do whataboutisms, okay?
Him 3 times, and once his invulnerability period ends, he's immediately vulnerable again. So you quickly realize that, and you just jump on him 3 times in quick succession, with him getting no opportunity to do anything, and pretty much every single one of these fights is exactly the same. That is beyond pathetic. And then you also have the Koopalings introduced in this game, and they're similarly also pretty lame-ass fights where you just...
I think the Koopalings were a little bit... I feel like the later ones were at least got a little bit tough. Like, I think, didn't Roy or Morton, like, when they were jumping, like, earthquake the ground that stunned you? Or, like, am I misremembering it and that's not, like, a factor in this game? I haven't played 3 in a long time.
Jump on them immediately, and then they get in their shells, and they move around a bit, and then they get out, and once again, they're immediately vulnerable, and you jump on them again, and they barely get to do any of their attacks. These boss fights just suck, dude. They're not game-ruining. They don't, like, annihilate the pacing or anything, because they're done in the blink.
Oh, yeah, like, Wendy's rings in this fight, if I'm not mistaken, correct me again, they don't disappear? So, like, they stay here the whole fight, hang on.
Of an eye, but it's like, wow, these are bad. This is why I say that the Bowser encounters in Mario 1 are actually better, because...
Yeah, like, they stayed the whole fight. So, like, if you let them build up, it can become really chicanerous.
They work, and they are fun and well-designed.
Oh, look, he does earthquake the ground, you see? So it's like, there's at least some... I'm not going to fight this too much. The bosses are kind of...
These are just atrocious. Next problem...
I wouldn't use atrocious. I'd just say bad, but fair. I sometimes exaggerate my language too, as a
With this
fellow
game that I
exaggerator.
encountered is going to be probably a very controversial one. I want to talk about Mario power-ups a little bit.
What would he have to say about the power-ups? Because what, you got the hammer suit, which is just really fun. You have the frog suit, which in water is good. And the tanuki, which I think is also quite fun to... Oh, hang on. I figured it out, chat. I figured it out. I've actually figured it out. Since he didn't like the warp zones for allowing you to skip areas, is it literally just going to be, I can fly over the level of tanuki, therefore? And it's like, you know, are you technically wrong? No, but you're not technically right neither. You could just not. Like, I suppose it's annoying that the game gives you that option, but it's all, remember, like, these games are also supposed to be like relatively simple. At least by Mario 3, I think that Nintendo kind of knew they wanted the games to be like relatively simple. And I think the tanuki was like kind of a power up to like make it relatively simple for like new players. Like, I think in most games, if anything, most games have like a flying power up to like kind of augment the difficulty in a bit more of an easier way, you know? You know?
Because I don't know how I feel about the way Mario does its power-ups. And Mario 3, I think, is when this really starts to become a problem. You know, you had the Fire Flower in Mario 1, and that was pretty useful for taking out enemies, and it also doubled as your hit points, and I thought that was a pretty good system that worked fairly well. But now in Mario 3, they've added a lot more power-ups to the game, and the big one, obviously, is the Tanuki power-ups that let you hover and also fly if you get a running start leading up to them. And that is certainly very, very cool and very, very useful, and they are fun to use. But at the same time, these power-ups make the game a lot easier, like a lot easier, so easy in some cases to the point where I go, I don't know if these were really a great idea. Like, on paper, I understand the concept here that, you know, if you play well and you don't get hit, you can maintain this power-up, and that's
what I was going to say. I'm glad he took it from me.
Reward for playing well, and that lets you, you know, do all these crazy cool skips and stuff like that. But on the flip side of that, the thing about Mario, and really this is just games in general, is that the challenge is what produces the fun. The game...
To you. You forgot to add those two words. To you. Oh, is he? I don't think he's gonna add those words, is he, chat? Oh no. Oh no, is it Mini Demeech? Is it Mini Meech? Mini Meech.
Having obstacles is what makes it a game to play to begin with. Because if there...
Okay, well, if we're gonna get really reductive, yeah, you're right. Obstacle. But I apologize for the impression. It wasn't earned. You might earn it later if you do some more chicanery, but not now. What I would say is that, like, again, are you the arbiter? That's what I'm saying. Are you the arbiter of what makes things fun? No. I'll let him finish his point. Hang on.
There were no obstacles if the level was just a flat plane that you just run across with no...
Again, you're being very reductive, but come on.
And no challenge, and then you complete the level.
Okay, we get it, yeah.
That wouldn't be fun.
Game is not game if it doesn't game. Okay.
Are the enemies, and the hazards, and the platforming, and the jumps you need to make, and the, you know, precision you need to not take damage and everything.
We get it.
Challenge is what produces fun in a game, and overcoming...
To you. Blood has never heard of a cozy game in his life.
Those challenges is the gameplay, and the ability to hover, and especially the ability to straight up fly with the Tanuki powers in this game, it circumvents a lot of the obstacles, and thus a lot of the challenge, and a lot of the game. A lot of the fun is circumvented with these power-ups.
I think this is where him playing these games... actually, hang on. I'm not even going to give him the excuse of first time for this chat, because this would be easy to say, like, oh, he's playing these for the first time. So unlike Sonic, where Sonic doesn't really have a lot of power-ups, the game just is how it is. Having a game where there's a platformer, where there's power-ups that help you straight up just skip the game, would seem like bad design to him. But what I would say is that even though this is your first foray into the series, I would say... my argument would be, I think even to someone who's never played a Mario game, for someone who's a gamer but has never played a Mario game, I think it should be extremely clear to you what Mario is, which is a game that generally anyone can play, or platformer, should I say, that anyone can play. Now, while if I was playing the series for the first time, I wouldn't have expected this level of general, like, most people can play this game attitude back in 3. I would have expected maybe this sort of attitude to continue, like maybe starting a new series. But yeah, this is like maybe their first foray into, okay, like we made this game longer, but there's no saving. So instead, we're gonna circumvent this by having stuff where people can like get to level, like skip levels if they're having trouble. Isn't there like a Lakitu cloud that straight up just lets you skip a level? You have the warp whistles too, so it's like more freedom in how you engage with the game at your own, like at your own skill level, essentially. You know what I mean? I feel like even if you are a Sonic guy, I feel like that's context that you should probably have, you know? Like, even though I've never played a Dark Souls game, I know those games are hard. So even if I made the video playing every Souls game for the first time, I would know these games are hard. I feel like if you're playing every 2D Mario, you should know that these games are relatively easy, and that 2 and 1 were kind of like these. This is when it was like they're forming, you know? So while I can understand you being disappointed, I think you not taking the context into account, maybe he does later, maybe. But you not understanding the context is a bit weird to me, you know? It's a bit weird. But I'll let you finish your point.
Reward for playing well in this game is playing less of the game and, in my opinion, having less fun. I mean, just look at something like...
Then don't skip the game then? Like, no, hang on. If anything, I have a perfect analogous example, chat. There's a game I played called Oddworld Soulstorm, a puzzle platformer based on like the game. It's a series that I played as a kid on the PS1, right? Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, probably one of my favorite puzzle platformers, right? Now, one weird design change they made with the Soulstorm, which is on the PS5, is that they've added like crafting elements to that game, right? Now, by exploring the levels, instead what they did in the old game, how do you reward the player for exploration? In the old games, it was simple. You have to rescue your race of like your species, essentially, the Modokans. So your reward for exploring is finding more friends to rescue, which you need to rescue at least half of to get the good ending in the game. So your reward for finding secret places is literally getting their good ending, which I think is motivation enough for you as a player. In Oddworld Soulstorm, that you still technically find like Modokans and stuff, but more often it's equipment for you to craft better stuff. And what I found is that literally what this guy found, which is by crafting better stuff, I'm able to just completely ignore the level design. But then I realized, wait, hang on, I actually don't like doing that. So instead, when I find a secret area that has, hey, it's not you rescue Modokans, you find crafting stuff, I'm just like, I'm okay, thank you. And I just moved on the level as normal. So I was able to do that. It's a bit strange that you can't. Like, is the argument that you have to? Sure, maybe that could be a bit annoying to you, but you can just opt not to. It's the same with like me and Pokemon. Like Pokemon, I don't use healing items on gym battles anymore, and I find the game's way more fun to play because of that. So I'm very like, maybe he elaborates again. Let's give him a chance. Maybe he does elaborate. But again, I thought that was very strange thing to say.
Like this, where there's a level below me, I guess, but I don't know. I'm just flying up here way past all of it, completely ignoring all the level design, all the platforming, all the challenges, all the fun that this level has to offer.
And ideally, you did that once, realized, wait, this is boring, and then you never did it again. The same way I did with Oddworld Soulstorm when I found a secret area with a lot of crafting materials. I did it once, and then, you know, that's it, you know? Like, I didn't do it again. So I'm just like, okay.
I don't care about any of that. I'm just going to fly over all of it. And even the hovering power-up, it does enable you to do some cooler jumps that you wouldn't be able to normally, which I do like, but at the same time, a lot of the intended jumps that you're supposed to be aiming for don't matter as much. You don't need the same level of precision or skill.
Yeah, that's your reward for keeping a power up.
Like the Tanuki Leaf, you are leaving gameplay on the table and having a worse experience for yourself. Like, a lot of times while playing through this game, I was thinking, man, I really don't want to be using this power-up. I actually felt bad for taking advantage of it, because I felt I...
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Just don't use it. Like, with me, when I fly over levels in New Super 3, I'm like... Oh, no, sorry, in Super Mario Bros. 3, I'm like... See you later, bitch. And then when I lose my Tanuki, I'm like, no, guys, please be nice to me. Please. But that's my way of having fun. Oh, you just don't... Like, if a level has a Super Leaf, I think it's implied that the game wanted you to use it if you wanted to. If not, then do what you want, bro. Like, it's in a block. It's not given to you. So Do what you want, little gup. I don't know what to tell you.
I was robbing myself of the level design. And that wasn't a thing
don't play
in
it.
Mario 1 because you didn't have such a ridiculously powerful movement ability. In that game, you had to do all of the platforming and you needed to play well. And it required.
Are we hitting him with the old allegations, chat? Are we hitting him with the old allegations? Because he's annoyed that he's given the option to make things easier. Why is he annoyed? Like, if anything, like, this should be, okay, the game is obviously intended for platforming chops less than mine, so I'm going to augment the difficulty to make it harder. In the same way that you did, hang on, stop everything. I just put 2 and 2 together. You're willing to augment, like, artificially augment the difficulty to make it amenable in lost levels, but you're not willing to do that for Super Mario Bros. 3? You did save states so you could beat the game. Why not use the Tanuki Loop so you can make it hot? Oh no. Oh pariah. Oh bucket it. I just put that together. No. I think this is all gamers. I think we can do it, gamers. I think we can do it. Oh, I hate this damn Super Mario Bros. 3. I'm able to fly over levels. What am I, a man or a pigeon? That's how you sound. You're just old. You're so fucking. Oh, thank you so much for the 2 solar flare. Thank you so much. Applause. Button machine broke. Oh, there we are. Thank you. Finish what's been happening. We're listening to an old man. Well, the video I watched specifically is a review of every 2D Mario after playing for the first time. Context: this guy's got someone who's Sonic. He's a Sonic kind of guy. So him playing Mario for the first time, we're just getting his thoughts. And it's a bit more of a rambly video. It's not really scripted, so do bear that in mind. But overall, he's just not. He's not really cooking. Let's put it that way. He's not really cooking. He was cooking for the 2 segments, somewhat. But for this 3 segment, it's just been old. I'm not gonna lie, it's old.
Understanding the mechanics and examining the level design and making the right choices and executing on them properly. And it was really, really fun. And I found myself doing that quite a bit less in Mario 3 because I didn't have to. I could just cheese out things with the Tanuki Leaf, and I just wasn't having as good of a time with this game as...
Okay, if I'm being a bit more empathetic, what I would say is, if you genuinely just didn't really have a lot of fun with the game and then came to the conclusion that it was because of the game augmenting the difficulty to make it easier, how about doing a second playthrough where that's not the case? Like, if anything, this was with me in Pokemon X and Y. Like, when I played the game originally, like way back in 2013, I thought it was too easy and I fucking hated it. But later on, I played like a Nuzlocked, slightly higher level scaled version, and I came to the conclusion that, yeah, the game is still fucking easy. Like, it wasn't the levels, it was more so the fact that most of the gym leaders only had 3 Pokemon. Like, the rival takes isn't really that compelling neither. A lot of the battles are just like the game design fundamentally just isn't that tough. You know, that's the conclusion I came to. But something like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which I found relatively easy at the time, I replayed it. I'm like, hey, do you know what? With a level increaser, this is actually fucking hard, you know? So what I would say to you is, I think this is, if this was your initial assessment, fair. But what I would have done is maybe do a second playthrough to see how you feel. Again, maybe he suggests this later. Maybe. I'm keeping my options open. But something tells me you're not gonna. But F7 is definitely gonna donate $2. Thank you so much. This guy will hate New Super 2 as well. Without the context of the time, I'm still gonna say yes. I'm still gonna say yes, he will. Maybe he found a raccoon suit hard not to use, or he felt like the game wanted him to use it. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like, maybe he did genuinely. If I'm being, like, earnest, yeah, maybe he did feel this way. So what I would say to you is, maybe do a second playthrough where you no longer feel the need to use any of these items. In the same way, when I replayed X and Y, I turned off the XP share, but the game was still, like, on a fundamental level really easy, and that was my conclusion. So, yeah, a second playthrough would have done you a world of good here, but suppose you still gotta make those Patreon bucks, you know? Get those Patreon bucks regardless, right, Pariah?
As I was Mario 1, thanks to that. Now, of course, I could always put some, like, house rules on myself. Oh,
yes!
Just don't use the Tanuki.
Oh my god, he's in the... Gamers, I love this video. Cinema. We might be watching the whole thing, chat. We might be. It depends on how long this goes on for. I think I have about an hour before my fiance gets home and I want to play Pokemon with her. Cinema. Gamers, are you ready for cinema? He's addressing... Literally, Pariah. His face in the thumbnail, neutral face, addressing the allegations. That's this right now.
Power next time I play the game, and sure, I could do something like that.
Try it.
But it shouldn't be on me. It shouldn't be on the player to make the game more fun. The game...
Oh, he's old. He's just old. He's old. He's old. He's old, old. Oh no, this is so. He's old. Chat, no, he's like 37, mate. He's 37. And again, it's like. In principle, are you technically correct? Maybe. What I would say to you is that maybe this game just isn't to your chops. Like, you haven't even acknowledged that at all. That maybe at this point, is the series something for you? You know, like, if anything, one of the things you could have done, if anything, one of the things that somebody would have done if they actually wrote notes and maybe scripted their videos that are rambling, like, I ramble, but I write notes, Pariah. I am better than you, okay? Sit down, little gup. What you could have done is you could have noted that 1 started off relatively hard, 2 got harder, but 3 was easier. Was this maybe their way of like toning down the difficulty to make things more accessible to other people? You haven't acknowledged that once, or like how that affects you. I mean, you can bring it back into relation to how it affects you, but the fact that 1 was hard, 2 was harder, but 3 is easier, isn't that like, shouldn't there be some gears that click in your brain and maybe like, oh, okay, maybe this is when the series was starting to get a bit more accessible. Like maybe this one, like Mario was hitting the big time. Maybe they wanted to make it a bit more accessible. Like, brother. Some donuts. Guys, you are way too kind, okay? You gotta stop it. I'm gonna have to pay a lot of taxes, okay, on this fucking money. All right, but thank you for the 10 of the king's currency. To play devil's advocate, if you need not to use power-ups to change the game's difficulty to make it satisfying, you could arguably see it as a problem. Absolutely, 100%. But again, what I would tell you, Solar Flare, is that he was willing to augment the difficulty to account for lost levels, but he's not willing to do that for new Super Mario Bros. 3. And then, of course, my second counter argument to that is, does he have to? No, but what you could do is if you had an unsatisfying first playthrough, maybe play it again with, like, house rules to, like, see if you feel any different. Like, you could still have the privileged, the principled stance of this shouldn't be how a game is designed. But what I would also like to hear is, did you go through the bother of trying to at least, you know? Like, again, X and Y is my perfect example. I went through the bother of playing it without the XP share, Nuzlocke rules. But I still came to the conclusion that the game is still fucking easy, right? Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is one I did change my opinion on. When I played it with Nuzlocke rules, with a, like, level curve heightening the level curve, the games were fucking hard, you know? So, like, so I implemented house rules to make the game more fun. Can you have the principled stance of you shouldn't have to do that? Of course, but did you at least try? That's what I want to acknowledge. And it's Solar Flare again? 2 Solar Flares? Although it's Mario, the difficulty it needs to be because, yeah, that's, again, it's Mario. That's the thing that fucks with me. It's Mario, you know? It's Mario. Man.
Should just be more fun by its very design. But the paradox
but maybe it is fun. Like, I genuinely have fun flying through levels because it's funny. You know what I mean? Like, I have fun flying through levels. You're telling me that's not fun? Like, who are you? Who are you? Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you, Pariah, to tell me I'm not having fun? I love flying through levels, okay? I love flying through them. They're fun.
Mario 3 is that engaging with the game's design means ignoring a lot of the game's design.
Although, I would say power of editing is not helping you here. This is probably one of the levels which is best designed around the Tanuki Leaf. Imagine having to, in an auto-scroller chat, imagine this, hang on.
But the paradox...
Imagine in an auto-scroller having to jump between tiny moving platforms like this. This is the perfect level for the Super Leaf. If anything, if maybe you took some notes, you could have argued that the Super Leaf can work in certain levels, but it doesn't work in others. Like, at least for augmenting the difficulty for you to tailor it to your liking. Yes, I would say this is very well designed with the Leaf because you can feather your descent to better land on these platforms.
Of Mario 3 is that engaging with the game's design means ignoring a lot of the game's design. You see how that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense? It just doesn't work for me nearly as well. I still found the game to be enjoyable, but honestly, I think it would be even more enjoyable if these Tanuki power-ups weren't in the game. You know, I talked about...
and all again, your background footage is not helping you, Pariah. You're showing a level that I think is well-designed with the Tanuki Leaf in mind. Again, you have to land in these really tight platforms in World 5, no less. I know World 5 is starting to get tough, but this is not World 8. So you have to land on these super small platforms while an enemy is chasing you. Yes, having a power-up that like helps you augment your landing is amazing design, I would say. Did you want the game to bust your balls like Lost Levels again? If anything, Mega Man is that way, bro. Like, goddamn. You hear he's playing as Tails or Nux? Maybe. But they're like... But the Tails are so much... I love... Every time I replay through the Advanced series, I love playing as Knuckles, but then I do a second playthrough as Sonic, like, because I want to play, like, you know, as God intended, so to speak. But going through Knuckles and just seeing what secret areas you can climb to is so much fun.
Enjoyable if these Tanuki power-ups weren't in the game. You know, I talked about cheating during lost levels with save states, but
Yeah?
honestly, the Tanuki power-ups feel way, way more like cheating than save states ever did.
Oh, coping. Oh no. You mean a power up they intended for the player to use is more cheating than save states? Brother. That is what we call a grade A copium, brother. Speaking about copium, if I want to listen to any more of this, I need another drink, chat. So literally, give me like 30 seconds and I'll be right back. I won't be too long, I promise. I'll quickly play some music so it's not completely dead. I'll literally be 20 seconds. I bet that wasn't even 20 seconds cast form. Apologize. I apologize right now.
So, yeah, not a fan of that. And then, thirdly, my final big complaint with Mario 3
Yeah?
is, oh my god, the auto-scrollers.
Fair. I think this is fair. You know, you ended it on a W. You ended it on a W, brother. I'll give you that at least. Auto scrollers suck.
There are so many auto-scrollers in this game. And honestly, that alone kind of kills this game for me in a certain way. Like, it feels like every third level in this game is an auto-scroller.
I think it's a fair point. I think we're just going to agree. Yeah. So we're just going to get to the end of your Super Mario Bros. 3 point, just to see if there's any closing thoughts.
Because of that, one thing I do want to mention is that after I played through the game, I looked around for some ROM hacks for Mario 3, and I did find this one for the original NES game that removes all the auto-scrollers from the game. Mario 3 Speedrunners Edition, I think it's called. And honestly, that alone would fix a lot of my problems with Mario 3. I think...
Now, while I would, if anybody else said this to me, I'd be like, do you know what, fair? But since you're saying this to me, I just know you want it so you can run more because you're a fucking Sonic guy. You're literally only saying that because you're a Sonic guy. That's my conclusion. And I go, I want to remove auto scrollers because I think they're slow and boring. You want to remove them because you're a Sonic guy. We're not the same. We're not the same, Pariah, okay? We're different. You made a severe and continuous lapse in judgment, Carl, so I apologize.
I think anytime I go back to this game, it's probably going to be using Speedrunners Edition, because just getting rid of those auto-scrollers would improve this game immensely in my eyes, because they really did hurt the experience that much. It sucks that I won't get the nicer visuals of the All-Stars version of the game, but whatever, it's worth it. If the game is actually
Walt, time gamers.
I'll take it.
Morquez, you missed a bit, brother, I'm going to be honest. It was crazy. This guy's, the video's kind of fallen off a little bit of, I want to say a cliff. We've definitely fallen, what's like smaller than a cliff? We definitely jumped out the building, you know what I mean? Like a 4-story building, you know what I mean? Still alive, but like, you know what I mean? Like broken legs, gotta go to the hospital, you know? Sort of thing.
Take it. Now it's time to talk about the first true SNES Mario game, Super Mario Bros. 4.
I've been told under good pretense chat, this section also gets a bit chicaneous, so we will be watching this, okay? I wonder what our goat thinks about Super Mario Bros. World. Super Mario Bros. World? Why do I keep saying that? Super Mario World.
AKA Super Mario World, as we know.
Why is it wide? Oh no. Pariah, you did not. You played the All-Stars version of the original 2 games, which I would say is a sin, but fair. No one's going to call you on that. Brother. Like, again, All-Stars versions of Mario 1 is already a bit sus to me, but fair. In what world did you think it was okay to use a widescreen version of this game for your first time playthrough? What are we doing?
Know it. And by the way, I'm using a ROM hack here to play the game in widescreen, which is really cool that you can even do that. And to be honest, I'm not happy to say this, but for me, this game kind of continues the downward trend of the main Mario games from 1 to 3 to now World.
Okay, I would say easily one of the best things about... Okay, chat, 5 gifted subs if he doesn't acknowledge this even once, okay? He doesn't acknowledge this even once. One of the best things about Super Mario Bros. World is the exploration of the world. You know, like most levels have a secret. What was it? Like I remember the back of the box on like the advanced port. One of the things they advertised that I thought was really cool was there's 96 exits, chat. Even as a kid, I don't think I found all 96. I think I found like 80 cent. I was like, what the hell? I want to find all of them. As a kid, I didn't notice that like the levels that were red in the overworld have a secret exit, and the levels that don't have one. Which is, if you didn't know that you know. But it was 96 exits. I was like, yes, that's so fucking good. And even when I do replay this game, and I'm like, okay, let me go through like Donut Ghost House, the Star World, to the. I don't even do it. This is the one game I legitimately can't speedrun. Because I want to play as many levels as possible. I want to go to like Pepperoni Secret. I want to go to Tubular. I want to go to Star Road. I want to go to Vanilla Cave, you know? I want to go to the exploration of this game is so fucking cool. And I think it culminates perfectly in Forest of Illusion, which is easily one of my favorite worlds in any Mario game. The best world in every Mario game, spoiling that future video if I ever make it, Worlds is Forest of Illusion. I fucking love Forest of Illusion. It's actually a perfect combination of everything I love about this game. So if he doesn't acknowledge that once, I'm going to say that is very upsetting to him. I'm half joking when I say this, but I'm half serious. If that's something you didn't even acknowledge once, I don't think you should play Mario anymore. I'm being half serious when I say that and half joking, okay? Easily one of the best things about this game.
I think this game is worse than the previous one, and I think it introduces even more problems and even more things that I don't like as much as previous games. Though, again, I do want to say I do like this game and I do think it is fun, but once again, I don't think it's as fun as Mario 1. I don't even think it's as fun as Mario 3. And the biggest reason for that comes actually in the form of the core gameplay and level design of Mario World.
Yeah.
Not that it's bad, it's perfectly good. However, it's very different than previous Mario games.
How so?
For one, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but it feels like they've slowed the game down a little bit. It feels
oh, gee, he's not even hiding anymore, chat. He's not even fucking hiding it. He's not even hiding it. He's not even hiding it anymore. He's literally, I cannot go fast. Therefore, on my mother's life, this is awful. You took down the other video, but you kept this one up. Jesus Christ on a bicycle, lad. You mean your non-Sonic game is a bit slow-paced? I'd love for you to elaborate on this point. If he's gonna, let's hope so. I actually agree that you do. If anything, it makes the exploration factor that this game has all the more better. You know, it slows down the game a bit so you can explore more. I predict he will mention it, but say it's a bad thing. What, the exploration? Let's find out. Let's find out.
Feels like your movement speed is nowhere near as fast as it was in Mario 1 or Mario 3. And honestly, for me, that's a big problem in and of itself, because as
wow, I wonder what. Say it with wow. I wonder why.
I've been going on and on about. I love that momentum, that flow running through these levels in one clean sequence.
Yeah. You like going through every sequence in one go. Brother, do I have the franchise for you? It's a blue hedgehog with a lot of attitude. Say hello to your new best friend, Sonic the Hedgehog, making his way onto a Dreamcast near you. Can you feel life? Bloody hell.
And a big part that makes that so much fun is how fast you go in the earlier Mario games.
Is it really? Is that really? That's it, just that, and that's it.
And by slowing Mario down, it just makes that core gameplay less enjoyable to me.
Core gameplay, momentum, Control-Shift-T. Gamers, I have a series that I will know you'll love, brother. If you want core gameplay to be a momentum with a bit of quippery, I've got just the guy for you. His name is Sonic, a blue hedgehog with a lot of attitude. Coming soon to a Dreamcast near you. Can you feel life?
However, in reality, that's almost a non-issue in Mario World because of another issue, kind of, in that the level design philosophy of Mario World is quite different than the previous games.
How
you
so?
really don't even have the ability to flow through these levels in one clean sequence.
Do I do the bit of Control-Shift-T? Boy, do I have a series for you.
Nearly as much as you did the previous games. The previous Mario games, especially Mario 1, it really feels like they're designed for that. You know, they're just on a flat plane. You just go left to right, and
or maybe it was designed like a flat plane because this was the first time they were making a video game. Maybe, and now that they have like a lot more game design confidence and chops about them, they're able to design them as the way they intended. Like I just I don't get what this like. What like? So you can't run through the levels. That it's so boring. Boy, do I have the series for you. So lovely, thank you though. I get he's coming in as a Sonic fan, but you can't even extend it on it. I think that's what's frustrating me. I genuinely think that's what's frustrating me. Like he's referring to the core gameplay loop of Mario as momentum. Now, is momentum cool? Like, is it maybe a factor? Like, especially with the Tanuki leaf and like the Cape Feather, when like you have to run, you have to gain momentum to be able to fly. Yeah, of course. But like, I would not describe that. And this is just me, chat. This is just me. But I would not describe Mario's core gameplay loop as momentum. I just wouldn't describe it as that.
Just got to keep your momentum going and make those jumps and do everything you can to not get slowed down. And Mario 3 kept that when it wasn't busy being a boring-ass auto-scroller. But Mario World...
Wow, it's almost as if it wasn't... Boy, do what...
Levels? There are a number of levels that do still maintain that kind of design, but there's also a lot of levels here which are very, very different, where it feels more like kind of a general 2D platformer, where it's...
It's almost as if that's exactly what it is. No fucking way, brother. No fucking way.
More like, here is the platforming sequence that you have to do, and you have to make all these jumps to get to the end of the platforming sequence. Like the castle levels, I think, are a very good example of that. Their design is very, very different than a lot of the other level types in this game, where they're much more vertical, they use a lot of these grates that you have to climb around on, and it just doesn't have that same opportunity to blast through the levels.
I have never once did the great levels and think, oh wow, I'm moving really slow. If anything, this is probably one of the cooler like game design. I won't say best, but it's one of the cooler game design. I love this. Like, you know, there's like Koopas on one side, and you have to keep an eye out for the Koopas on the others. You can like punch the gates to like both kill them and flip to the other side in certain instances. I just thought this was cool. I didn't look at this bit. I don't look at this bit and go, I can't move fast, therefore it's boring. You're boring, Pariah. You're boring.
You also have things like the Boo houses, which totally lack that kind of flow at all, because they're a little bit more puzzly. They're more about figuring out how to find where the exit is.
And I really like them, yeah.
There's
some of them are really satisfying to find.
T-switches and things like that that open up different areas.
So
you have to like backtrack around and do all these different things. There's underwater sequences where you have like these tunnels that you need to go through to avoid all the obstacles and stuff. You know, there's a lot of stuff here that it's just not the kind of thing that they did in the previous 2D Mario.
I need to address an allegation, guys. Genuinely, is this bait? I don't think this is bait. I think the issue with this is the fact that if anything, what was it? Was it Noodle that said this? I think if you're going to talk about a series as long-standing as Mario coming from someone who's never played it, I think that perspective is genuinely fascinating. I think it is. I think someone who's never played I would love to hear the opinions of people who've never played Pokemon games, because like I have the context of 30 years of Pokemon. If someone told me they have none of that, that'd be fascinating to listen to. I think what's really annoying is that not only is he not extending an olive branch, which I think by design just makes for a frustrating video. I'm okay with it because I'm here for the chicanery. It's annoying, but like I wouldn't put that as a massive condemnation. I think one of the biggest issues is he's trying to find a game that doesn't exist in Mario, you know? Like he's all like, what the hell, why is the game slow? And I'm like, I've never thought World was slow. When I play, if you told me to play 1, then 2, then 3, then World, I would be like, wow, World is way slower. I'd just be like, wow, I get to have all these cool secret exits, you know? And it's the fact that and I think this is indicative of his format. Like even when I make, like again, when I'm playing Mario Galaxy right now, but like I could just do a tier list right now for you guys of all the galaxies. But the reason I'm not doing that is because I want to write notes. At least you've got bullet pointed notes for each star. So when I talk about the galaxy as a whole and my rating, you know that I've come to the conclusion. And yeah, sure, his format is like off the cuff, whatever, like rambly. That's fine. I'm okay with the format. But when you're doing this format, you have to be like very cognizant of the other. Like you have to be very careful with what you say, because it might not come across as cogent to you as it would the audience, you know? Like, that's the reason why I'm writing notes. So when I give something that might be favorable or low tier, you know that I thought about it because I have notes to indicate, you know? And it's a even though rambling is like a how do I want to phrase this? It's a format that seems interesting because obviously you're just like stream of consciousness, but sometimes your stream of consciousness is, as I said, just to reiterate, isn't as cogent to you as it would be to other people. Like when you say the core gameplay loop, that sounds really silly. You know, I'm like, the core gameplay loop is momentum. But if you were writing notes or scripting this, you could have refined that point to indicate parts to me why that was interesting. If anything, we can refer back to Designing 4's Frederick video, right? Like if he said Pariah, if he was making that video, would have said King K. Rool is Frederick is analogous to King K. Rool, and all of us would have been like, what are you talking about? But when Designing 4 explained, it was like, oh, his moves are similar in this sense, in this sense, in this sense. And while I personally didn't agree, I was like, okay, I could see how you came to that conclusion. With Pariah, I'm just like, you're saying a core gameplay loop is momentum, and I'm just like, okay, how did you come to that conclusion? If anything, Mario is designed not to be. Like, there were so many instances where we saw footage of him playing Mario 3 where he just straight up skipped the game design. And I'm just like, because Mario is generally meant for you to, like, yeah, you can run around, but generally you stop. If anything, that's one of my favorite parts about New Soup 2 playing it now. There's certain instances where you see a star card and you're like, how am I getting that? And it's like, it's not always obvious all the time. I have to figure it out. And then, yeah, and then, oh, there's a secret beanstalk. Ah, that's where Mario becomes fun. So, and of course, his argument would be, I know his counter argument would be, but this is how I have fun playing Mario. Is it wrong to have fun playing Mario this way? So we just say, no, of course not. But if this is what you're looking for in a Mario game, you're playing the wrong series. If I'm looking for a difficult RPG and I said I play Pokemon, I'm looking in the wrong place. I'd probably play something like Persona. Does that make sense? That's what I'm getting at here. And that's my entire issue with this, you know? That's my entire issue with this. Is that I think if you are gonna do something especially I think maybe this will be like a note for Pariah. If anything, I don't know if you'll ever watch my reaction, I have no idea. But if anything, this might be a learning lesson for Pariah, because I'm sure the comments are flaming him. This would be a learning lesson to him that if you're going to tackle something as big as like an entire series from a newcomer's perspective, I think it's important to understand where you stand relative to the series. Again, even just taking some basic notes to refine what you're saying, just a tiny bit, would have really helped you here. And the fact that you're not doing this is like absolutely like, think about it. If I am annoyed, bro, there's people in my chat that have been flaming you the whole stream. Like, I hope if you do see this, bro, you don't read the chat. I'm telling you, they've been flaming you twice as hard as me, right? Because they're fucking incensed. Like, at least with me, I'm like, I get it. Like, I'm a rambling Andy too, so I kind of get it. But like, bro, it just comes across as really fucking annoying, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Oh man, oh that's crazy. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Brian made it clear that he likes games that allow you to pop off and have a high skill ceiling, but he puts it in a way that that games aren't like that, are badly designed. Exactly, yes. And I think this is the kind of olive branch extending, or the kind of refinement that could happen if he was to write some notes. That's what you would do. This is what I do, brother, okay? In my earlier tier lists, I didn't. And I think those tier lists aren't that good for that reason. Some of the points I think I made very well, but a lot of them are not. But nowadays, I write notes when I'm making videos, so I know what I'm talking about. But evidently, I would recommend that to you, Pariah. I know you probably like the rambly style, but just write some notes. Honestly, just write some notes. Just do that. Let's continue, though.
Games, and it completely lacks that feeling of just go, go, go that you got before. And instead, it's more like, yep, it's a platforming game, and here are the challenges, and you gotta complete the challenges to beat the game. And as a general platformer, it is good. It's well designed, and it is fun. But for a 2D Mario game, I just find this to be dramatically less fun compared to the previous games of that constant speed, constant momentum, going really fast all the time. And
I would say the fact that you were able to constantly go fast was like just lucky. It's just happenstance. That's what I would say.
The thing that makes Mario World considerably less fun than the previous 2D Mario games is that the issue of easiness through power-ups of Mario 3 is so much worse in this game than it ever was in that game.
Oh no, he made the calamitous sin of hating the cape feather. Oh boy. Oh boy. Sag.
Because I thought the Tanuki power-ups were overpowered, but the cape just completely annihilates that, because you get all the same abilities of the Tanuki powers, but now you can do this crazy fucked up thing where you can, like, glide using the cape and maintain your height. You can actually ascend while doing this, flying through the level at insane speed, and it's just like, okay, let's just say goodbye completely to gameplay or level design or anything. I mean, just look at this. Look at what I'm doing. I just
And was that not the most cathartic thing on planet Earth? Yes. I get to skip a level. Is that not funny? Hang on. No, hang on. No, you can't breeze through levels on it. Wait, not like that. Got him, Zozim got him. Fucking got him. See, this is why Zozim's a moderator, okay? Because she has the dunks. She has the dunks. But it's like, firstly, no one forced you to do that, and secondly, is that not the fact that you could do that? Is that not cathartic to you? If you didn't want to play it like that, just go back and play it normally. Just play it normally. Guys, do you think he hates all Pokemon games because you can like over level your Pokemon? And then when you say to him, no, just stay within like a basic level cap, just cap the levels yourself. No, I don't. No, not like that. Not like that. No. If this is Sonic, they could fly around the stage as Super Sonic, though. Yeah, I know, right? If it was Super Sonic, he'd love it. He would love it. Honestly, that's what he would.
completed the level.
And also, like, I don't think he points out the fact that, like, with the cape, actually ascending with the cape, it's actually really hard. You got to time the button presses, like, really, like, strictly. So, like, it's not, like, as free as you think it is. So, I don't know.
I didn't do fucking anything. I just flew over the entire thing.
No, you pressed backwards and forwards in a rhythmic timing to make sure you kept your flight. In fact, if anything, this is probably one of the harder levels to fly through because at any point, think about how, just look carefully, guys. Look carefully again.
But now you can do this crazy fucked up thing.
Look how close he was there. If anything, he should have been hit. The hitbox is VAR check, guys. VAR check. He should have been hit there. He should have been hit. He should have been sent spinning, and he should have died. Like, this is a risky play. If anything, this was the worst example you should have showed Pariah. Because the level normally is quite slow in that, if anything, like, the level is normally quite slow because you have to board these platforms. But you being a Sonic guy was like, no, I'm just going to fly. And you found a cool way to fly over the level. Again, it's a lot harder than it looked. I won't say a lot harder, but if you try this, if I gave you a copy of Super Mario World right now and told you to do this, you'd fuck it up at least 3, 4, 5 times. 100%. 100%. It's not as easy as making it look. It's easy, just not. Look at that again. Are you telling me narrowly missing that wasn't satisfying to you? Are you really? Is that really what you're telling me? Like, yeah, you flew over the level, but look how close you. We need another VAR check. Look at that fucking hitbox, lad. That was unbelievable stuff. Is that what you're telling me? Like,
Okay, let's just. I mean, what the fuck, dude? This is not okay.
Okay.
Now I will say.
Okay, that level track. Okay, if anything, I hate you for playing the widescreen version for the fucking. Look at the transition, guys. Look what they did to my boy.
What the fuck, dude? This.
Oh, that's gross. The little circle. Oh, that's gross. That actually made me throw up. That made me throw up. You're right. This is not okay. That transition was not okay, brother.
This is not okay. Now, I will say they do actually utilize this crazy movement in some interesting platforming challenges.
Again, look how close you are here.
Some extra side areas and stuff, and that is pretty cool. But the way this impacts the core gameplay and the design, oh my god, it's so broken. And then, if that wasn't enough, they've also...
hey guys, I'm gonna play Pokemon. Uses level 70 Mewtwo for the entire game. Wow, guys, it's so broken. It's so broken.
Added the ability to.
I'm being a bit ridiculous when I say that, but you get my drift. Okay? I'm being ridiculous.
On one additional power up that you can hold on to, so when you take a hit, that power up can be deployed, and you can pick it up to regain your health and get a power up back. A cool idea on paper, but in practice, I think it just makes the game way too easy because now there's dramatically less consequences for taking hits because you don't lose your power-ups, you just get another power.
What I would say to you is, I think I could easily destroy your entire argument here with one thing. No, honestly, I could. Firstly, how is that a bad thing? It isn't. But guys, like genuinely, I could just destroy this entire argument in one thing, in one sentence. You're willing to modify the game to play it on widescreen. Why not modify the game to remove the the item bank? Owned. Fucking owned. Fucking unironically owned. You modified the game. Why not modify it further to augment the difficulty? Owned. Get owned, nerd. Get actually owned. I own you, little bro, okay? Little gup. Get in the basement. Edit videos for me, okay? Need more editors.
I was pretty much always powered up playing through this game. Like, if you look at my footage playing through Mario World...
And then obviously his argument is widescreen doesn't affect gameplay. To which I would say, absolutely it does, because you're able to see enemies oncoming a lot easier, the way the game didn't intend for you to. So yeah, you've literally augmented the difficulty by widescreening the game. Why not augment the difficulty by removing the item bank? Owned. Owned.
And
Owned,
especially
little
boss
bro.
levels.
Hey, listen. Rambling off the cuff isn't for everyone, okay? This is an art. This is an art, okay? It's harder than it looks, okay, little gut. How about you write some notes? How about you write a script, okay? Those patrons deserve better quality.
I'm in the base form most of the time because the game is challenging and I'm taking hits fairly regularly. Whereas in this game, I am fully kitted out almost constantly because the game just in general is easier. And then this power-up storage ability makes the game even more forgiving and even easier. And then, if that wasn't even enough, you also have Yoshi on top of that, which is another tier of power-up.
Alright guys, man does not like fun. More at 11.
Addition to whatever
Crazy.
power-up you have, be it Cape or Fire Flower.
And again, like, the fun of Yoshi is, like, keeping him is actually genuinely tough. Like, what do you... Oh my lord.
You can also have Yoshi along with that, giving you an additional hit point to protect you from even losing your power-up.
And on the later worlds, don't they fix this by, like, in the later worlds, you don't get access to Yoshi in the later levels. Like, obviously because they know it would make it a little bit easier. So if anything, the game kind of accounts for this.
And when you take a hit with Yoshi, you just get knocked off of him and he starts running around, and if you can get back on him, you get that hit point back. So you can just have infinite health as long as you can manage to recollect Yoshi.
Wow, yeah, guys, you can have infinite help as long as you make sure you pick up a ring. Well, yeah, in effect, but like sometimes getting the ring is like... Sometimes it's not as easy as it looks. I know, like, for example, I know the Sonic Rush games, like, if you keep getting hit, the rings fly further and further and further. I don't know if they do it in other Sonic games. But yeah, like, with Yoshi, it's like, it doesn't necessarily do that, but you might lose Yoshi in a position where like, getting him back is a massive risk and it might get you killed. So, like, you say that like it's easy, but, like, in a lot of cases, it's not.
It is ridiculous. So the end result of all of this is you have these unbelievably overpowered abilities with the cape, and you have these tools that enable you to just keep these power-ups almost perpetually. It was so rare that I was not running around with some degree of power-up, be it Cape or Fire Flower, Yoshi. All the time, I had something to make the game so much easier than it normally would be.
I don't know, is it maybe because you were using save states? Don't Vine Boom me. Like, he used them for Lost World. I'm thinking in Sonic again. Anything with Wild is just tripping me up. I'm like, you used them in Lost Levels. Who's to say you didn't use them? I'm just asking questions. Proof? Did you live stream? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You didn't prove it. Save states.
Like, I criticize Mario 3 for the Tanuki power-ups making the game too easy, but Mario World, with all of this, it doesn't make the game too easy. It makes the game a joke.
Once again, your background footage does not help you, because like look at all this shit you did. Hang on, look again, chat.
Mario 3 for the Tanuki power-ups making the game too easy.
Like, look at all these footballs you were dodging here. Look at this.
Well, Mario World.
Oh, nice dodge there, and then boom, and then lovely dodge there, and then you got in the pipe. You said this game was easy, but you showed it like a cool sequence here. I'm just like,
a joke. I never would have expected it, but the goddamn 2D Mario series is suffering from power creep, and we're only like 3 or 4 games in, depending on how you count it.
Power creep, you know? One odd thing to say. Like, the implications that... But, like, the reason why that's an odd thing to say is that, like, power creep is generally bad. Or at least the strong implication on power creep is that it's a bad thing. What? Why is having power-ups that enable you to play the game in multiple different ways a bad?
I'll be honest, this experience playing these original 2D Marios for the first time has been quite a roller coaster for me, because I was really pleasantly surprised to see how much I enjoyed the first game, and then with every game, it's just kind of gotten worse and worse for me. But again, I do want to reiterate, I still like Mario 3 and Mario World. I do think they are very fun. I'm just disappointed to see such immaculate design falter to kind of all these issues.
Issues that are not really issues. It's just the game is too easy for you, which is fine. Mario, yeah, for me, Mario World is easy. So, that's just Mario. If anything, aren't the Sonic games generally easy as well? Like you would, coming as a Sonic fan, you should know that like you are also a fan of a platformer series that's made generally to be easy to be accessible to all audiences. Why do you find that so difficult here? If anything, it's the translation that's pissing me off. If you told me this guy watched made Dark Souls content and played Mario, I'd be like, okay, I can understand. I can understand. But I'm just like, you came from another platforming series that was also generally quite easy to appeal to like a wide audience. How do you understand this? No.
So the core original Super Mario Bros. Series, I would say, is some pretty good games. Some of those games are truly great, in my opinion. But unfortunately, I wouldn't say that all of those games are great. They're not as great as I wish they were. People will probably disagree with me on that, but that is how I feel.
I'm gonna say it, your feelings are invalid. Simple as that, really. Your feelings are wrong. Your feelings are invalid. Never play Mario again. Get out of my house.
Oh my god!
But in earnest, it's just like this whole thing falls apart when I could just simply tell you play a harder video game. Like what? Like I could debunk this entire section with just play a harder video game. Like what are we doing here? And then of course you do the other thing, right? Which again, hey, this is why taking notes might help you, Pariah. You did the thing of like he did the DSP thing. Like I used to see Darkside Phil do this all the time. Oh, this game has this that shit. This game has this that shit. This game has this that shit. But I swear I like it, guys. Okay, could you point out any of the things you liked? Like if I felt this way about Mario World, I'd also point out, yeah, maybe the exploration is kind of fun. The power-ups, even if they are overpowered, at least interesting. The different the world map. I would say the world map in World is probably more interesting than the world map of 3. Like there's like different areas and it feels like an actual cohesive island. While Yoshi might be easy, his like power-ups are quite interesting. Nothing. He didn't mention no adherence to the secret exits, which is easily again. Oh, he didn't mention it. He didn't mention it, did he? Chat. Hang on, we got a little bit of time. He didn't mention the secret exits at all.
By the way, I'm not going to be talking about Yoshi's Island in this video, because I know technically that's Mario World 2 or whatever, but, you know, it's a completely different style of game. It's doing its own thing.
Wow, Pariah, you said that Yoshi's like an infinite hit point if you could pick him up, but look at the situation you're in right now.
It's a completely different
Look at the situation that you put yourself in because you went up to go back at Yoshi. Look at this.
Style of game.
Look
it's
at it,
doing
look!
its own thing, and
Look at this
video
precarious
is
situation you put yourself in.
Just covering the
Wasn't the fun of that situation getting Yoshi again and pulling yourself up out of that situation?
Or Super Mario Bros. Series. I'm not going to cover any of, like, the side kind of Mario games. Like
Okay, I don't care. Let's skip ahead a little. Oh, no, that's over. Okay, so gamers, as predicted, he didn't mention easily the coolest thing about Super Mario World, which is the abundance of secret exits and just how many cool secrets you can explore and find. So, because of that, sponsored by Pariah695 Gamers, the casino is open for business, gamers! We have 5 gifted memberships at the hand of easily the worst video I've seen today. Not of all time, but today. Gamers, here we go. The 20 quid has been spent. My PayPal... Do I have to log into PayPal? Oh, don't make me log it. Oh, we're in. Hacker voice. I'm in. And here we go, gamers. Who is going to get the gifted subs today? It's been announced. It's gamers. Say hello to Isaac Glands, Skid Row 1544, Saint Fent of Floyd, Pokey Monica, and Wilbur exclamation point. Come on down, gamers, and claim your gifted subscriptions. You get videos a little early and some extra stuff whenever I think of any ideas that inspire me. I hope you enjoy that. I hope it was worth your time and money. And thank you as always for supporting me, gamers. Until the next gambling session. Sayonara. Let's go. Let's continue. I'm going to skip land because I don't care what he has to say about lands. And land 2, I don't really care what he has. Actually, these sections are really, really short. Hang on. Land 2 is like 2 minutes long, chat. I think we might have to watch this. Let's see what he said about this.
This is it. Now, Mario Land 2, significantly better. Big step up. I mean, you can just look at the game visually and you can already tell, yeah, this is much nicer than the first game, obviously. But still, at the end of the day, I wouldn't say this game is particularly amazing. It's an alright game. It's fairly fun, but nowhere near as good as the main Mario games, even Mario World, with me not liking that game as much. It's
All I want to know is, what do you think of Castle Warrior? Does he talk about... Oh, he does, okay. What does he think of Castle Warrior? I like... It's a bit of a toss-up. Every single time I've talked to someone, they're like, Castle Warrior sucks. I think Castle Warrior is a fun level. What does he think of this?
ridiculously easy the entire time, until suddenly when you get to the final level of the game and it suddenly decides to be really hard. You get this really long gauntlet that's just a level that goes on and on and on, and it's got a lot of tough platforming, a lot of obstacles that you really got to be careful to avoid adequately. And there was, like, nothing like this in the entire game. I think if the rest of the game had more of this kind of challenge, I'd probably like it more.
Wow, he likes it because it's hard. Boring. Boring. Actually, to be fair, that's why I like it as well, but...
Though I do think that this level is maybe a little bit much. It does go...
Oh, he has the bad take where it's too... Oh, it's too hard. So what, the game's hard and you don't like it anymore? Disgusting.
on
Embarrassing.
for quite a while, so it means that if you make a mistake, you have to replay this difficult level over and over and over and over, and eventually...
Oh, are you gonna save state? Are you gonna save state? Oh, let me use save states just like I did with Lost Levels. Oh, save states, save states. That's how you sound.
It does start to get a little bit tedious.
Boring.
And, that's
get
really
good.
all I have to say about the Mario.
Boring. Get good. Okay, what does he have to say about NSMB DS, champ? Let's go on to the NSMB series.
Now we jump forward quite a bit, many, many years, as with the advent of 3D gaming, 2D games kind of just went away for a while. Yes, and this was very interesting to me going into these games because these games have a very infamous reputation amongst Mario fans as being fine. They're good games for sure, but they are very uncreative, and a lot of people find them to be quite boring. So going into them,
is that true?
I was like, okay, well, I don't have any nostalgia. I don't have any particular love for these games. Maybe people thought that the original games, you know, they had a connection to them from their childhood and they were putting them up on a pedestal and thinking better of them. So I'm going to try to be open-minded going into these new all the previous ones.
Okay.
And upon doing that, yeah, everything everyone said is completely true. Because this first new Super Mario Bros. Game, it's fine. It's adequate. It's decent. It's relatively well designed, I would say. But yeah, it is pretty...
Is there not enough running to the end for you? Is that what it is?
Plain and boring. It's not really doing anything new or interesting. It's very...
Like, if anything, do you know what, Pariah? I think you might be a Mario fan because, like, actually, hang on. I think you might be a Mario fan teleported back to, like, 2013. Do you know what I mean? Because I think, like, isn't this, like, kind of the shit we all said back in, like, the 2010s? I feel like if you're going to talk about... Well, wait, hang on, what was this? 2023. Okay, this is a bit old. But even then, I feel like if you're going to talk about the new Soup series and, like, the Big 20, right? At the very least, can you, like, at least meet the games for what they are, you know? At least. But he has a lot to say about this, so maybe he'll say something, I don't know.
Very weird. Like, you take the original Mario game, and it's very basic and simple and straightforward. There's not really that much there, but there's a certain zest to that game.
Zesty.
There's a liveliness to it. There's a passion behind it that you can really feel. Whereas New Super Mario Bros., it feels like it's so by the numbers, just, you know, following the playbook to a T and not really doing anything new. Ironically, despite the name of the series, the New Super Mario Bros. Games are not new at all. They're just rehashing the previous games. And sure, they have, you know, new gimmicks and new power-ups and enemy types.
So wouldn't that by design not make it a rehash? She just hang on, hold on.
Previous games, and sure, they have, you know, new gimmicks and new power-ups and enemy types and whatever, but the core of the game, the design, the overall feel, the flow, everything, it's all very plain, safe, standard, not anything new or different or...
What I would ask of you is, what were you expecting? Like, because when I played now granted, I haven't played New Super DS. I know all of you guys are fucking all of you guys are literally crying in the chat. He said New Super DS is bad. I have not replayed it yet. Wait for the Sir Moresty opinion, okay? What I would say is that, like, what were you expecting? Again, I think this is the big disadvantage of playing all of the 2D Marios in a row. Because, yeah, if you played them all, like, in a row, then you get fatigued. Like, you start seeing patterns of when it was, like, of similar. Like, you start noticing patterns a lot more with some of the game designs. Like, it's like, if anything, the format has failed you, brother. The format, if anything, what we should have done is played maybe like the classic games for a bit and then left it, and then played the new games for a bit and then left it, and then played like the later games, or something like that. That's what you should have done. That's what you should have done. But like, there's multiple instances of new areas of game design where you just haven't acknowledged, like, at all. Like they've got like the increased movement, like also like the triple jump and stuff. They got like the spinning platforms are relatively new. Bowser Jr. You could there's so many things you could talk about that maybe would make this more interesting, but again, because you haven't written any notes and you're just going off rambly feelings, which you're not very good at articulating, if I'm being honest with you, it's just going to be the classic new super boring, therefore. That's literally all it's going to be, isn't it? It's going to be the take we've been hearing for 10 years, chat. That's literally what this section's going to be, isn't it? We'll give him a chance.
Anything. In particular, the new Super Mario Bros. Games, to me, feel like they're really building off of Super Mario World in terms of the general feel and the level design of them, which for me is already kind of a bad thing, because...
No, I would not say that this is aping World's level design. If anything, you're only saying that because you concluded that World's design was a bit slower, and I'm guessing this game's design, you've concluded that this game's design is a bit slower, therefore you're seeing patterns where none exist. Because I would not say it. Now, granted, I haven't played DS in a while, but I don't think that when I play World and DS, I'm going to come to the conclusion that DS and World are kind of like analogous in the way that you're pointing out. I just don't think so. Again, the only reason you're doing it is because both games don't allow you to just go fast constantly, which just I'm going to do it, chat. Am I going to do it? Hang on, that's the wrong tab. Boy, do I have the series for you. Good lord. Lily, thank you so much for the 5. This certainly is a video of opinions. It is. I'm exhausted. I'm tired, boss. Also, he was crying about the momentum, no fast momentum, and yet talk about the blue shell on the bit. I wonder if he is. You've got time. Like, this section is big. It's like 8 minutes. Is he going to talk about anything interesting? Or is he going to do the classic dark side Phil thing of this sucks, like he'll spend the whole time sucking it, and then, or saying it sucks, should I say? And then at the end going, no, but I really had fun, guys. I really had fun, I swear.
Mario World is my least favorite of the original games, and so building off of that, we have a lot of the same things that I didn't really like about that game showing up in these games, like a reduced emphasis on that kind of momentum flow through the levels. We have that slower movement speed. There are some new mechanics that have been added, the ground pound, wall jumping, and those are kind of cool, and they add some new potential, but it's still just not really done in very interesting ways, and the level design, like... I've always heard people talk about the new Super Mario Bros. Games, about how these games have really brilliant level design, and they're so well put together and so well thought out, but to be honest, I'm not really seeing it playing through these games.
Of course you're not seeing it. You're just running through it, you dipshit. Of course you're not. Is he going to talk about 2-3? Is he going to talk about the latter half of World 8, which I think had some of the most interesting levels in the game? No. Is he going to talk about, I think World 6 has some pretty solid levels too? No. Is he going to talk about like World 4 and how like tough some of those levels were, like with the fucking poison thing? No. He's not going to talk about any of this, is he? No. I can't go fast. Where? I can't go fast. I'm pariah and I can't go fast. That's literally how you sound. This is embarrassing, brother. I'm going to be honest. You need to start for the sake of your patrons, not for me. Fuck me. You hate me probably if you're watching this. For the sake of your patrons, write some notes. It's not that hard. Just open a Google Doc. Playing every 2D game first time notes. NSMB. Just write all of that's what I do when I'm writing notes. I just write all the headers or copy paste them from a website if they have it too, and I just go and then next. I already watched this video. I'm having fun. Fuck you, Castron. Lily of the Valley. Thank you so much for the kid. Who was it? I got it. I thought I said slavery for a second. I feel like I'm in chains watching this video. In all fairness, Massa, please. Can I stop watching this video, Massa, please? Good lord, man. Good lord. Please.
Like, it's all so basic and bare bones. Like, it's quote-unquote good. Like, it can sometimes be pretty clever in the way that they arrange the different elements, where they introduce, oh, this type of platform that works in this kind of interesting way, but then you have to do this while you're on this platform, and then we throw this in, and we, twist it up, and all this stuff, and like...
Again, this sequence here is quite memorable. Like, you have to, you have to keep wall kicking on the walls while the platform moves. Like, what do you mean? Is this not cool design?
Yeah, so
Oh,
they're taking all these different
cleverly
elements
designed
and
area.
they're arranging them in all these different clever ways.
Yeah.
But at what point is this supposed to be fun? Because honestly, I really don't think it is that fun in most cases.
Again, if it's not fun for you because you can't go faster, it's not harder for you, why are you playing this? Why are you playing this? Like, I've gotten to the point now, I'm like, hang on, how many games are there? So it's basically 3 worlds, and I'm guessing these 2 as well. So you've played 5 games where you've basically not really, like, you can't go fast and it's not difficult enough for you. Why are you still playing these games? Like, this video was botched from the outset. Because, like, someone playing these for the first time would be interesting, but, like, literally all it amounts to is, I can't go fast, it's too easy. I can't go fast, it's too easy. What else did you notice? What else did you notice that they changed? What were some of the good things? Again, you're going to do the thing where bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, and in the last 10 seconds, you're going to be like, but I like the game, guys. I like the game. And, like, I know what he's probably going to say in response to that. It's like, oh, you hate my analysis because it disagrees with your take. No, it's just boring. Literally, for the last 3 ones I've watched, it's, I can't go fast, it's too easy, therefore. Fucking boring analysis. And write notes. This is why you write notes, so you can refine your points a bit more, so you can actually have a decent take. That's why. This is why you do this, Pariah. Your patrons deserve better. For the love of God, for all of your patrons, please start writing notes.
These games can have all of the clever level design in the world, introducing all these
But you can't go fast,
bits
therefore.
and
But
bobs,
you can't go
and
fast,
toying
therefore.
around with them in all these different creative
But
ways.
you can't go fast,
But
therefore.
at the
Just
end
say
of the
it.
day, what I'm actually doing as a player is woefully basic in almost all cases. And this style of level design, it started a little bit in Mario World, but it really started to become a big prevalent focus in these new Super Mario Bros. Games.
Again, what's this? You have to ride on spawning platforms while bruisers take them out. Is this not interesting level design? I would say this is interesting level design. Is it particularly difficult for me personally? Not really, but I would say this is interesting level design. There's a difference between interesting level design and then a game that, like, I find personally fulfilling because I find it very difficult. I would say Celeste is a game. I don't know how well it's designed, but difficulty-wise, I found it very fulfilling because it was really tough. And when I beat it, I was like, yes! Mario games, do I find them difficulty-wise fulfilling? Not particularly, but is that what I'm going into a Mario game looking for? If anything, the last 3 games or last 5 games you played should have showed you that, okay, like, I'm noticing a pattern recognition human, like, monkey brain. I'm noticing a pattern of these games are relatively simple, so let me try and, like, maybe find another level of analysis. Not only would that just make sense from a human perspective, but make for a much more interesting video to watch as well. Am I literally, like, if the next segment is literally just, it's not difficult, it's too basic, it's not difficult, it's not too big, it's just, why would you make this? And you're probably annoyed that, like, people in the comments were like, oh, like, what's the point of this? Oh my God. This video is just, it's not Sonic, therefore. It really fucking is, isn't it? It's boring. Like, easy level design does not... Yeah, thank you. Easy level design does not mean bad level design. Like, it might make it not as stimulating for you, which is... that's fair. But then they'll argue, why the fuck are you playing a Mario game? Celeste, Shovel Knight, Rayman Legends, fucking Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. What are we doing here? Why would you make... Not only did you waste your time, like, on a human level, but on a content... Like, if I'm thinking about this Sir Moresty, a ruthless businessman, this video is fucking boring. Because all you said to me is, I can't go fast, it's not difficult. I can't go fast, it's not difficult. I can't go fast, it's not that difficult. At least when Designing 4 made his video criticizing Friedrich, I was able to offer my own personal counter-arguments. I can't even do that. I'm just making fun of you because I'm bored, because you're not giving... Just to go about it, if you're ever curious, when I make fun of someone, it's because I don't have anything to latch onto, so I'm just making fun of you to at least say something. That's generally what I do. And I've just been making fun of you because I literally have nothing to say. You've bored me to death, Brian. But thank you, Lily, for gifting us up to Landon. Landon, you better say thank you. Can we stop watching this? No? I'm fucking loving this.
Really
love this
do
video. You
not
kidding me?
like it nearly as much as the first couple of games. It's very like gimmick oriented, where
I mean,
every
you can stop watching. You could just, you know.
single level is gonna have its thing that the level is built around. Oh, this level is built around these bouncy platforms.
Yeah.
This one is built around these swinging things. This one is built around this special type of moving platform, which is
Yeah.
really just another type of auto-scroller, because this game also has a number of auto-scrollers.
Oh, for fuck's sake! It's so again boring. Are you really? Are you gonna look me in the eye, Brian? Tell me this, like the platform that you have to use your own weight to move is the equivalent of an auto scroller? No, I would say no. This is not the equivalent of an auto scroller because you have the agency of moving the platform at your own pace and dealing with the threats as they come. Again, this Cooper is on one of your platforms, so not only do you have to step on him and throw him away, but you have to do that while also avoiding hitting the poisoned water. The agency is what makes this auto scroller fun, but you're not going to acknowledge that because you're just fucking rambling and you're boring. You're actually boring. You're not even having the level 1 conversation. You're having the level 0 conversation. This is just boring. Write some notes. Write a script next time.
Platform, which is really just another type of auto-scroller, because this game also has a number of auto-scrollers,
boring
which is still
analysis.
boring. This level is built around these mushrooms that move around. This level is built around this. This level is built around that. Blah, 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 over and over, every single level. It's all gimmicks. It's always, we're trying to...
What the fuck? What would you call Hydrocity's, like, upping and lowering the water levels to, like, move the stage, like, to continue your forward progress? What would you call Sandopolis's Act 2's make sure the lights are on so that the ghosts don't haunt you? What would you... Gimmicks? Gimmicks, maybe? Dipshit? Jesus Christ.
Focus on this one particular thing and make some clever level built around it. And I just don't think it really is that interesting or fun compared to like Mario 1, Lost Levels, Mario 3, where they didn't do this. They just had...
Brother, okay, listen. You're a gambling addict. And I mean this like genuinely. You're a gambling addict. Speaking from a fellow gambling addict, I love when video games give me thrills. Okay? It's the reason why I love Lost Levels. Because no game can fucking have me spinning the fucking roulette wheel as much as Lost Levels. And that's the reason I like it. But see, the thing is though, chap, the thing is, I will admit that to you. I'll admit that to you straight up. Is the game shoddily designed? Abso-fucking-lutely. But there's no game that's ever brought me to my knees the same way Lost Levels has. I have to maintain 3 lives across 4 impossibly tough levels and do them flawlessly. The idea of a Mario game asking that of me is insane to me, and that's why I love it. But see, I'm willing to admit that to you, that I'm insane. I'm clinically insane. I'm a gambling addict because I like the thrill. The thing is, you won't admit it, Pariah. You're a gambling addict. You like the thrill of a game giving you a really tough challenge and saying, yeah, bitch, go beat it. But when Mario evolves into, we're going to be a bit more accessible, I was willing to go to Mario and be like, okay, sure. I'll find my sick kicks elsewhere. That's what you need to do, Pariah, okay? There's kids watching. Find your sick kicks elsewhere, you grown man. You're a grown man. Behave yourself.
Had mechanics and, obstacles and enemies, and they just made different level layouts that were good and fun and straightforward, and you just played through the levels, and I thought that was so vastly superior to this gimmick.
Again, how can you you won't even engage with the fucking level design. Look, what makes this chat? What makes this segment cool? You describe it to chat. Let's get some appropriate music. Let's play Baby's first video game and analyzer. Okay, which is something that this guy is not going to do because he's a rambling fuck. Right? Let's do it. Let's do it. Hang on. Let's do Trainer School Oras. Let's get some music going, shall we? Hang on. So gamers, I'm gonna mute him because I don't want to hear you. What would you say makes this red ring section very, very interesting that he's completely missed over? Now notice, gamers, notice the positions. Let me just have a freeze frame going. Now notice the positions of the red coins. What would you say makes this section quite thrilling? I mean, Kajol is on the... Yeah, exactly. I like the fact that you have to kick the shells over Dory at the perfect time. That's a good thing. You go right over funny Dory to grab the coins. But, here you go. But there's a coin up here, though. There's a coin up here. You see? So not only do you... And also... What's this, chat? You see that? You see what we're getting at here? So... you do have the choice in whether you go for the star coin or the red coins. But if you want both, right? You have to quickly grab the star coin, quickly grab this coin, and then continue to ride on Dory's back. Or you can kick a shell. There's numerous ways you can engage with this problem. Do you see what I mean? It's very interesting. I would say this is quite well designed. And what does Pariah decide to do? Engages with absolutely none of it. And then complains that the game is just full of gimmicks and is boring. I think CJ's got it right. So I'm just, yeah, it's crippling top path syndrome. I'm just like, why did you even play this game? I'm just saying, what did you play this game? Oh man, why did you even? But Moresty, it's not fast. It's not fast.
I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit too much of a purist after enjoying Mario 1 so much.
You're old. Just say what it actually is. You're old. You're fucking old. That's what you are.
But I'm not really interested
Old.
in avoiding these spiky pillars as they come out of the walls or whatever. I just want to run and jump my way through an obstacle course.
He's boring. Oh my fucking god. Play Sonic. Play Sonic. Why are you here? Why are you here? This is atrocious. This is actually so bad. This is actually the worst video I've watched in a while. This is definitely in contention with probably one of the worst videos I've ever covered on this channel. This is like up there. Right now I'm confident to say that this is worse than like, what's it, Piantopedia's Mario Kart thing. Honestly, it's up there with me because it's literally the most boring thing I've ever watched in my life. At least Piantopedia was boring, but like it didn't waste my fucking time. This is like, oh, what do you like about 3? It's not hard enough and it's slow. What do you like about what? It's not hard enough and it's slow. What do you like about it's not hard enough and it's slow? Good lord.
And these games just aren't really doing that for me. Instead, what they are doing, I just don't find interesting at all. On top of that, New Super Mario Bros. Takes one of Mario World's biggest problems and makes it even worse for me, which is that this game is comically easy, even more so than Mario World was. Which, how do you even...
All right, we're gonna jump ahead again. We're gonna jump ahead a little. That's what he thinks about Wii. So you think what the Wii game is? I'm gonna skip around this bit.
And that's a real problem because there's so goddamn many of these games, because next we gotta talk about New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And I will say, this game is definitely much better than the DS game.
Let me guess, chat. It's because he simply just gets to run to the end a lot, that's why. That's literally why.
And I think a big part of that, honestly, just comes from the fact that it's now on a console, so the camera is much more zoomed out, it's widescreen. You just get a lot more field of vision to see everything that's going on, and it just feels...
Spoken like a true Sonic fan, honestly. Jesus
better,
Christ.
thanks to it being on more powerful hardware. It looks better, it sounds better.
It's literally just console pure... Is this what Jan Measley was talking about? Because I don't know if you guys ever watched Jan Measley's How Many Mario Games Are There Really? Like, how many mainline Mario games are there really? One thing that he mentioned that I was just like, it's a bit weird, was he mentioned home console purity. As in, there's some people that will consider a mainline Mario game simply because it's on home console over handhelds. And I'm just like, it's a bit weird. I don't think anybody would unironically use that as a plus point. Like, I guess it's better that it's on home console, I suppose, but like, I wouldn't say a game is better because it's on console without explaining why. But here we have Pariah, the worst video I've ever watched ever, doing this thing.
Better. So it is just a better game overall, but honestly,
isn't it easier?
It's really the same fucking game again. You know, it's a little bit different. It's got some different level gimmicks and some different obstacles and enemy types and stuff.
Are you going to talk about how the bosses are the Koopalings now? They got rid of like the original bosses. I suppose you can't really talk about that because you haven't played the others yet, but like maybe how the bosses are different. The final Bowser battle was pretty cool. Is he not going to mention it? Let me see if he mentions the final... Oh, no, he mentions the bosses here, so let's skip to his, like, bosses analysis right after we do some donos. Thank you, 5. I bet he would do a Sonic game ranking rank Sonic Dash top 100%. No, he'd be Sonic 3 and K because he's fucking old. I love Wii, but there's no way better than DS. Yeah, but we're in the Pariah zone now.
20 years ago in a Mario game, you can't do it. And speaking of that, the Koopalings are back once again as boss fights, and once again, they are fucking terrible. They are shockingly terrible. It's the exact same thing. You jump on them, they go in their shell, they go back and forth a little bit, and then you jump on them again immediately before they have the chance to do anything. I am stunned by how shit these boss fights are. Like,
I would say the castle ones were better than the tower ones, but either way. What does he say? Does he say anything about the final boss? I don't see any footage of the final boss, chat. Does he not even acknowledge the final boss?
To me, it has all the exact same problems as the DS game, and it really doesn't do anything to fix them.
Fix implies that there was something wrong, which there wasn't. But either way, thank you for the 5, Orend. Or 6, actually. I think Sonic fans are generally home console purists too. They count Game Gear and handhelds as spin-offs despite Blaze debuting in one. Yeah, he's letting his Sonic bias show, which just makes me which also adds to the pile of, why the fuck are you playing this, bro? Why did you make this video? Okay, now here we go, gamers. I am of the opinion, as I'm playing NSMB 2 right now, the coin collecting is a fun gimmick. If you hate it, you're boring. You actually have no joy and whimsy in your life if you hate the coin collecting gimmick.
Speaking of which, let's move on to New Super Mario Bros. 2. And once again, I will say, I do think that this game is better than either of the previous New Super Mario Bros. Games.
And as somebody who's playing at the moment, it's because you get to run to the right more and call it a day, right? Right, Pariah?
These games are painfully boring and not very fun or interesting. But at the very least...
Literally 0 level analysis. Literally just listen to that, guys.
Boring and not very fun or interesting, but...
Boring. Actually just boring. He's actually just unbelievably boring. Unbelievably boring. Brother, stop making videos. Okay, I won't say that. Take notes, brother. Take notes, literally. Thank you again, Solarfly. This video has me baffled. Flashbang by terrible takes and analysis. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, boring.
But at the very least, they are getting better with every entry. They're not getting substantially better, in my opinion, but they are getting better. Kind of weird that this game is called New Super Mario Bros. 2 when it's the third of these games, but it does kind of make sense when you actually play the game because it...
Chad, just look at my... Is this your go? Is this your go? Guys, look, just look at this shit. Just look.
It's the third of these games, but
he ground pounds a block, right? A multi-hit block.
It does kind of make...
And just hits it once.
Makes sense when you actually...
And then just runs away. Instead of, like, ground pounding it proper and, like, having that moment where the block is on your head and you're like, whoa, what the hell? And you're like, whoa, I get to collect coins as I run, so I'm going to keep... If anything... That's like genuinely, that's one of the coolest things about this game. Like when you have that coin in your head, it's like, I want to run now so I get more coins. If anything, it enables you to try and find the momentum in this game. It'd be something that you might actually enjoy, but you decided not to engage with it at all. Amazing.
Play the game because it doesn't have the things from the Wii game. It has the things from the DS game. Like it has the extra item.
He did it again. He did it again. Look at this.
From the Wii game, it has the things from the DS game. Like
he did it again. He did it again.
It has the extra item that you can hold to the levels, and it doesn't have the little twirl thing. So this does feel like a sequel to the DS Mario game rather than a sequel to the Wii game.
Skip ahead
other ones. So that is an unbelievably pathetic gimmick. So why do I say this is the best of the New Super Mario Bros. Games so far? Well, I just think that the level design here is a little bit better than the other games. It's
what makes you... I wonder, chat. I wonder what makes him say that. Also, just a heads up for future reference. If anyone keeps saying, please stop watching this video, please stop watching, I will ban you, okay? Just leave the stream.
Still mostly the same type of level design. It's just a little bit better, in my opinion. Just
How so?
More interesting, fun.
What makes it more interesting?
Gimmicks and
is there any
less
examples?
Emphasis on
is there any examples?
So
any examples?
I
can give you
didn't
examples.
really have a lot of fun with this game at all. I would say, but
Any examples?
less of a boring, miserable time than I did with the previous games.
Again, all this yap, and you couldn't even give me one example. One example.
Oh, and by the way, the Koopalings are back again, and they have shitty bosses again, and they're not even really
Let's move on to you. What does he think about you?
one, New Super Mario Bros. U, and wouldn't you know, it's the exact same fucking game again for the 4th time. And this one feels like a sequel to Wii, where you can't hold on to an item in the levels, but you have the little twirl thing, and...
I wonder how he'd feel if I said Sonic 1, 2, 3, and K are like, and CD are the same game. I wonder how he'd feel if I said that. I'm just curious. I wonder how he'd feel if I said that. Because I mean, the new Super games, they have a similar art style, and I can understand why you'd say that, but I mean, I would imagine as a critic, you would have a bit more to say than it's all the same. I don't know. Pariah seems like the kind of guy who'd go to China and think everyone's siblings. I don't know, I'm just saying. You're typecasting all these new Super games? I don't know, brother. I don't know, I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions.
It's the same game. Again. I can't believe it. It's the exact same fucking game. It's got the fucking Koopalings. Again. And their shitty fights. Again. And you gotta fucking save Peach. Again. And it's all the same level themes. Again. Seriously, what was going on with the Mario series at this time where...
I don't know, to be honest. Guys, I've come to the conclusion. I actually don't care. He's going to like Luigi U because you couldn't get to run fast. I'm skipping that. Maker, I don't care. Maker 2, I don't care. Oh, what does he have to say about Mario Run? Oh, is he going to do... Oh, gamers, do you know what will complete this video? Chat? If he says run phone game equals bad. Oh, please. Actually, please. I want you to say that now, just to make this video an absolute car crash. From a car crash to a train wreck. No, it's going to go from train wreck to plane crash. That's what it's going to go. This is going to be my 9/11, chat.
Really quickly, I do want to talk a teensy bit about Super Mario Run, because for thoroughness, I did also want to check that out for this video. And
he actually likes likes you. I don't care. I've run out of fucks to give. This guy didn't give a shit when he made this video, neither do I.
I did. I don't have any footage of me playing it. I did it on my phone, but it's
Most
not
phones have a screen recorder.
particularly great. It's fine, but it's just a phone auto runner. It's very...
Yeah, to be honest, I wasn't expecting much from Pariah695. Fucking hack fraud of a critic. Let's get to what he thinks about Wonder. Boring. What is this? What the fuck is on my screen right now? Excuse me?
And now, finally, after all of that, we can finally talk about Super Mario Wonder. It's all been building up to this, so...
I'm gonna skip a bit because he does this yap thing at the beginning.
Finally remedied the lack of creativity in the new Super Mario Bros. Games. This game is now bursting with creativity. It's so interesting. It's doing all kinds of crazy new things for Mario. It's a very pretty game. We're finally done with that same fucking endless pattern of the same Mario biomes forever.
Skip ahead a little.
Flower and transforming into this giant... I thought of this game in many, many ways. Like, yeah, you have that creativity that you would feel from, like, the Galaxy games or Odyssey or whatever. But the core gameplay and game design of the game is also very reminiscent of the 3D Mario games to me, much more so than the previous 2D Mario games. Yeah. I mean, hell, this is the first of the 2D Marios that's kind of a collectathon. It's not just a bunch of levels that you need to continue to progress or whatever. And the way that you collect these Wonder Seeds through the Wonder Flowers and all the crazy Wonder effects, the way that they impact the gameplay and level design of Mario Wonder compared to previous 2D Marios, it feels quite different. You know, I talked about the differences in the kind of game design philosophy of Mario 1, 3, and U versus World and the rest of the new Super Mario Bros. Series, but Wonder is kind of a little bit different than either of those. It's kind of doing its own thing that makes it feel more like a 3D Mario game. In particular, I felt that the game design here was very akin to that of Mario Galaxy, especially, where you plop down these Wonder effects really feel...
I wonder how he's going to explain. How this is quite analogous, because that would actually be quite interesting. If someone said this game's game design is analogous to Galaxy's, I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, in what way? But this is Pariah. He's not going to explain that in a way that's satisfying to any of us. So
Mario Galaxy
you can try, though.
especially,
You can try.
these wonder effects really feel like Mario Galaxy levels, where you plop down into the level and you're playing through it and it's some platforming, but then we introduce some really crazy, weird, out there gimmick, and then the whole level is really built around that gimmick, and we really flesh it out and do a lot of stuff with it. It's very, very similar here in Mario Wonder.
Could you give me any examples of how it's like Galaxy? Because, like, when you say that, I'm like, I don't know. Is it? Does Galaxy do that? It's not a bad point. I just love some examples, but I don't think he's going to provide any. Because he's the overthinking yapper.
And that kind of puts...
I'm just saying, you having a format where you yap is not an excuse for not giving me examples. He didn't like the new series for being around gimmicks, but he likes Wonder for doing it. Almost as if, you know, writing some notes and refining and thinking, but you don't do any of these things, do you, Pariah? No wonder you deleted that other video.
me in a little bit of a weird feeling place with this game, because this game definitely lacks that thing that I love most about 2D Mario, that momentum-based platforming.
Okay, gamers, with that, I'm done. I'm cooked. I am tapping out. I'm cooked. I'm finished. We are going to skip all the way to the end.
Hello, yeah, are my favorite 2D Mario game, and that's never going to play again, like most of the new Super playing it again. But it's not my favorite 2D Mario. It's not even one of my favorite 2D Marios.
Yeah?
I would probably say this actually ranks fairly low as far as the 2D Marios that I like. It might even be my least favorite, just above the games that I'm never going to play again. Like,
wow, it's a good thing no one gives a shit about your opinion. It's a good thing no one gives a shit about your opinion, brother. It's a good thing.
Most of the new Super...
It's a good thing no one gives a shit about your rambly, yappy, no examples, no analysis, no research, no notes, motherfucking opinion. It's a real good thing. It's a real good thing.
Mario
The biggest shame about this video is it doesn't have more dislikes.
Bros series. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Games and Super Mario Wonder. I'm sure I had plenty of controversial opinions here, especially about the last...
It's not your controversial opinions that annoyed me. Maybe some people in the chat. It's not your controversial opinions that annoyed me. It's, again, your format is just dog shit. I genuinely don't think you're the kind of person that can yap and make it interesting. That's not to say I'm perfect at that. Of course not. But you have to be careful. When you're giving me a yap sesh, especially about a series that, you know, would be relatively interesting for you to talk about the first time, and a lot of your opinions were just, I can't go fast, therefore, it made for a thoroughly boring video. Thoroughly boring. I'm letting you know now. This was absolutely one of the worst videos I've watched. Truly. And I mean, like, I actually sat down and watched. I've seen some videos where I realize it's not for me in the first 30 seconds and I click off. But genuinely, this title is something that I would probably click on my own personal time. I would love the idea of somebody telling me that there is a long-standing series that I've been a fan of for, like, ages and didn't play it for the first time. What are the weird, like, quirks that you noticed in the game? Like, what are these, like, small little elements that you, like, appreciate or really didn't like that I would never have considered as being a long-standing fan? But you didn't give us any of this. It was just, the game is momentum-based when it fucking isn't. There's another series that could introduce you to that. And then it seemed like and again, you did the classic DSP thing of, this thing's bad, this thing's bad, this thing's bad, this thing's bad, but I really like the game. And it's like, anybody worth their salt would not format a video this way. Because what it comes... Now, to you, it seems okay, because obviously, to you, all your arguments seem okay. But to the person watching, you said bad thing, bad thing, bad thing, bad thing. So it's like, why are you even watching this? It's the same problem that Power Bow had. If you guys remember me watching Power Bow, he made a lot of jokes in that video about, like, hating Nintendo. To which begs the question, like, to him, obviously, he was like, oh, I'm joking. The fact that I'm making a Nintendo video implies I like Nintendo, which is sound logic, but to the viewer, when this is the first time they ever met you, when you make anti-Nintendo joke, people online, anti-Nintendo joke, I'm just like, you first come across extremely insecure because you care about online people's opinions, but you also come across like you hate Nintendo. That's the issue that you have, Pariah. The issue that you have is that generally the biggest criticism I got of you of the Mario series from a first-time player is it's not Sonic. And ideally, that was probably something you were trying to avoid, but you didn't. And this was a thorough waste of my time. But it was good content, though. And I love it being a bit of good content. Cinema? If I was watching this in my own time, I would ask for my 2 hours back. But I watched this on stream, therefore it was kind of funny. So Bravo 6? Let's go dark. Let's see what the comments had to say. Let's have us a look-see, shall we? Oh, there's a pinned comment. Amazing. Chat, move out the way. Go away. Okay, I've gone way too much comments saying you want Mario to be so... True! It's true, though! You do! You do! Wake up, right? You're in a coma! So to clarify, no, I did not try and play these games like... Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Like, when I saw you doing it in Mario 1, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. When I saw you doing it in Mario 2, I was like, You literally did it in every single game that you fucking reviewed. You just ran through all the level design, which is something that you do in Sonic because it's Sonic. But in Mario, you don't do that. You stop and smell the roses every now and again. That's what you do in a Mario game. But you weren't willing to meet the Mario games as they were, which would be fine as a first-time player. But the fact that that was your main angle of critique made this video thoroughly frustrating to watch, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Maybe that was a bit too harsh. You should radically consider your review style. That's a bit more polite. I tried to play the games in a way I found to be the most enjoyable. And due to the mechanics and designs of the games, rushing through is what I thought would be the most enjoyable way to play. Wow, did you really enjoy the bit? I'm just letting you know, Pariah. Did you really enjoy the bit where you were doing this over and over and over again? Was this fun to you? Was this fun to watch? Because some of you guys were saying, thank goodness he changed to a clip. Was this fun for you? I'm asking you. Because as far as this is fucking boring. This was an eyesore to watch, and it made it so that you couldn't engage with the game design as they intended. Yeah? Yep. This is your go? This is the way you like to play games? Questionable. Extremely questionable. For rushing, believe it or not, different people can enjoy the same game in different ways. Crazy, I know. No, I do believe that. Absolutely. If someone in the chat was like, Moresty, different people can enjoy games in different ways. Yeah, of course. You did not do a good job convincing me that your way of playing the game made sense. In fact, it made no sense. It was, in fact, nonsense. As I said in the beginning, I tried to play Mario games more slowly in the past, looking for secrets to collect the star coins, but I never found that fun. Would that maybe be an indication that the series isn't for you? I don't know. If you're telling me the core aspects of Mario, what makes Mario fun, is something you do not like, why are you playing these games? Like, I'm not doing the thing of don't like it, don't play, or like, you know when people say don't like it, don't watch it? It's like, but you have to watch it to figure out if you don't like it. That's a bit stupid. But if you've tried this before, then maybe it's just not for you, you know? You gave it an earnest try, playing it as they intended. Odd. But good job, thank you. No, wrong button. Thank you. This whole video could have been a tweet saying Mario wasn't for him. Actually true. That's the sad bit. It's like, I don't think I got a single interesting... Well, maybe I got a couple. Maybe I'm being a bit wrong. Maybe there were some interesting things he said in like the SMB 1 and Lost Levels segment, which is where the video peaked. But other than that, I don't think I got a single like thing out of this video. It was literally just, it's not Sonic, therefore. And that was boring. Absolute embarrassing. I tried hearing you and wanted to collect all the star coins and pebble coins, and I didn't like it. Maybe these games aren't for you. Also found all the secrets in the world, which I enjoyed, but not as much as playing through the levels. Boring. Zero joy, zero whimsy. Had I played that way many people still wanted me to play, this entire video would me talk about how I found every single game boring. Maybe you just scrap the video then. No one thought... I hate when content creators do this. Wow, this whole video would have been bad if you guys wanted me to do... Maybe don't make the video then. You know, maybe. I don't know, crazy thought. And no disrespect to you. Again, I genuinely mean no disrespect. But, again, you know... This ain't... you ain't Mr. Beast, lad. Like, who are you? Like, I suppose you might be accountable to your patrons, but, like, Maybe you announced to your patrons you're going to get every 2D Mario playing for the first time, but you could have just cancelled it and said, hey, I don't think I could offer any commentary for this because I found the games all to be kind of boring. I think your patrons would understand. I don't know. Maybe. Also, I understand that you play this game wrong energy. At the end of the day, I still had a lot of fun with Mario 1, Lost Levels 3, World, U, and Wonder. I think it was a great game, so what's the problem? The problem is the games you didn't like because it wasn't Sonic. And the games you did like, I think this mindset just goes to show how, like... What's the polite way I say? Let me give you an example, instead of being mean. Let me give you an example. If someone told me they liked... If I was watching a YouTube video, and somebody was doing an analysis of Toad's Factory, and they got their analysis, like, in an objective sense wrong, but said they liked it, I wouldn't have left that video very satisfied. Because, yeah, the video man agreed with me, which is always a +5, but part of the fun of watching someone analyze a video game or critique a video game is how they came to their conclusions. So you could get the same answer as me, but if the conclusion was wrong, it makes for a less satisfying video. So when you say you enjoyed these games, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed these games the same way I enjoy these games. But when I talk about why I enjoy World, it's because of the various exits. But you enjoy World because it lets you run through therefore with a widescreen hack. You see? It's like, technically we both like the same thing, but it's not really that satisfying, is it? So when you say this, I think it just goes to show that, like, you're... What's the word I want to use? I want to be a bit tact with my language here. I think it just goes to show your level of... Your analytical abilities aren't as refined as you probably want them to be. That's what it shows to me. Because anybody with even a bit of analytical nous would know that it's not necessarily... Oh, guys, I reached the same conclusion as you. Like, what's the issue then, huh? It's like, no, it's how you came to the conclusion. Like, it feels like it's obvious to me. It really feels like it's obvious to me, and yet you seem to be confused? I don't know. Maybe you need to do some soul searching, brother. I'm going to be honest. Maybe. And by the way, World did not feel slow because of the widescreen. It felt slow because Mario does in fact move slower compared to previous games. Yeah, but do you understand that you invited that criticism by playing a widescreen hack? Yeah? Do you understand? That's your own fault. You don't get to correct people. That's your fault. You're an idiot. You're an idiot for that. Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Either way. So, rightfully, people are telling him the thing I thought. I love how this person who doesn't care for 2D Mario can still figure out what the part everyone loves about Wario World is. Weird how lazy Pac-Mule was able to reach the conclusion, but you weren't even willing to acknowledge it once. Not once in his World section did he acknowledge, oh, the exploration. Not once. Sad. Very sad. Very, very sad. Sag. Who would have thought Sonic fans' favorite 2D Mario games were the momentum-based ones? Wow. Who could have... What? It was almost like this was a waste of 2 hours. Wow. This was almost like it was. Upvote that comment because Benjamin's going to yell at me if I don't. Yeah. I'm about halfway through the video, but I can't help but find it funny that, as hell, that the way you ended up enjoying Mario is to approach it like a Sonic game. To which he says, I know a lot, but there's basically a reason I like Sonic games, so of course the reason I like Mario is the things it has in common. It's almost like Sonic was built off of Mario's foundation or something. Maybe worth a video. Or maybe, I don't know, this is weird. Maybe this is weird. Maybe this is weird, Pariah. But maybe when you play a different platformer, instead of being racist and thinking every platformer should be momentum-based, therefore, maybe you take the other platformer for what they are. Maybe, have you ever considered... Just me, chat? Just me? I'm just asking questions. It's just me? Just me? Just me? No? Okay. Just me then, I guess. Momentum fetish is widespread in the Sonic fan base. Yeah, honestly, we need to purge it. Yeah, so obviously Benjamin pointed this out. He doesn't need a save state. Why even have lives in this case? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, not gonna lie, this video is way too painful to watch. This whole time I was like, Jesus, not every platform has to be hyper arcadey, speedrun friendly sort of shit. Just chill and smell the roses for a moment. True! Upvote. Upvote. True. Ah, yes, smelling the rose. That's definitely why I play platform. Is this the caliber of fan you have in your comments, Pariah? Is this the caliber of people you've attracted? Embarrassing. I never want to watch another Pariah video again in my lifetime. This was easily the biggest, well, if I wasn't recording right now, if I wasn't entertaining the masses, this would have been the worst 2 hours of my life. And I probably would have quit out this video probably around the halfway mark. So, oh no, Pariah. This video is what, a year and a half old? I hope your critiques have gotten better since then. I certainly hope so. For your sake. I really do. For your patrons, no, not for your sake, for your patrons' sake, because they deserve better than 2 hours of It's Not Sonic, therefore. This or Demetrius Easy Mode video? 100% Demetrius Easy Mode video. 100%. 100%. There's no... I would much rather watch Demetrius' video 5 times than watch this again.